Radio Free Cybertron, the original Transformers internet radio show since 1999. 100% girlfriend free since 1999. You're watching Radio Free Cybertron. Transformers! For the latest Transformer news, reviews, and more, visit tformers.com.
This is Radio Free Cybertron, episode 371. Yes, 371. We've had 2 episodes since last week. We had our BotCon wrap-up show on Saturday, and our JD Memorial Tribute episode, which posted today. If you are a subscriber, and you should be, it's already in your iTunes and RSS feed for the audio version. We do not have a video version of that episode of the show. It was a lot of fun to put together. Also, you know, kind of made me sad. I really miss JD, and he was such a huge part of what we do. It's really kind of hard to imagine that he's not around with us anymore. But that's definitely worth checking out. That's at tfradio.net/podcast. Or just go to tfradio.net. It should be the first thing that you see for the next couple days. So with me this week, we have Headmaster Don, who is fresh from BotCon.
Well, fresh is a relative term.
Fresh as BotCon gets.
Thanks for sharing, Don.
XV, Diecast,
Yay.
and Melvar. So I'm going to let the cat out of the bag. So I know Rob will not want me to mention this, but apparently, as like a souvenir thing he's working on for TFCon, he's trying to come up with some RFC themed hotel sized deodorant. So yeah, that'll be kind of nice.
Yeah, you need one with Massey's picture on it, so you can smell like Massey.
So at BotCon, people were loving you because of Massey.
Yes. Everyone seemed to recognize my voice versus my face, and they all pretty much had the same thing in person. You're the guy with the cat that attacks you. I love that. So pretty much everyone at BotCon loves the show. They watch it. They like all of us. They just like Massey the most, especially when he's attacking me. Okay.
Yeah, it's weird when you get recognized. It's like really weird, but I'll just say it's weird, but it's cool. You get used to it. Go ahead.
No, it was nice to be known for something other than being Headmaster Don. You know,
so for people, okay, so we always talk about how famous Don is. The first time I saw Don was in 2003.
Again, famous.
Don was like, back in the day, he was one of the most famous internet fans because everybody knew about Don. He was the guy that at BotCon every single year asked during the Hasbro panel when they are going to make a Headmaster RC. Every single year. That's like 9 years at that point. He stopped. But I remember getting excited when I first saw Don. I took a photo. Don, I still have that photo. I'm like, that's Headmaster Don. And people are like, yeah, we've seen Don for years. I haven't.
Yeah. And some people were actually putting that knowledge of that the rumor of my existence with this face, and they were finally putting 2 and 2. It's like, oh, you're that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah.
So hopefully I wasn't to all the fans of RFC out there. I hope it wasn't too much of a disappointment at BotCon.
Don, you could not possibly disappoint.
This versus the legends. So.
Yeah, you are pretty legendary. So this week marks the 5th anniversary of our return to a regular schedule. I'll put it that way. JD again was to thank for that. So that's the reason. So going forward, this week every year we are going to do a JD memorial episode. This week was like I said, this episode is separate from the JD episode. The JD episode is a supplement, but going forward, it will actually be the normal episode for the week. So mark it on your calendars. So we'll be asking people for some of their favorite JD moments for the perpetuity of the rest of time. Until we stop doing the podcast. Which could be like...
The other thing is, too, you said most of what you have is unpublished stuff, so how can people ask for that?
I said most of it. I didn't say, and by certainly no means all of it. I mean,
no, but most of it. At some point, we're going to run through all the stuff that's been published.
No way. No way. There are thousands, at least hundreds of hours of JD stuff that's been published. Thousands and thousands of hours unpublished.
The memorable stuff people will actually ask for.
It's all memorable.
Well, and XV, don't forget, you've got all that stuff from Superhero Time that once you edit it down or out...
But that was mostly Fort Max, right?
It could be usable.
Well, the Fort Max thing was the best story, obviously.
Yeah, Fort Max was like a high point of the Memorial episode.
Well, that plus that day that Fort Max was having headphone issues, which put JD over the beam.
Oh, and congratulations to Fort Max for having the conversation with his folks. So, Fort Max is awesome. Mm-hmm. Let's see here. So, on the show this week, we will have the news, including analysis of the BotCon Hasbro panel. We will also have a diecast review of Transformers Rise of the Dark Spark. We'll have my review of Transformers 4 Age of Extinction. And we will have an interview with Boss Fight Studios, who they are, if you're not aware, they currently have a Kickstarter going for these sort of Greek-themed action figures, but how it hooks into Transformers, they actually did work on the BotCon Transformer subscription service line, so that's pretty cool.
I believe some of them also did work on some Comic-Con decos and sticker sheet sets.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
for the Starscream, or not the Jetfire Sky Striker, among others.
Right. I haven't actually sat down with them and done the interview. Diecast and I should be talking with them on Friday, so the show will actually post on Saturday. So we'll cover all of that. So Diecast, tell us about the Loot Crate.
Oh, the Loot Crate. The Transform Loot Crate. I have my review posted on the YouTube page, the Radio Free Cybertron YouTube page, so if you want to go check it out, you can. Hopefully the lighting and everything was good. It's probably the best video lighting-wise that I've done so far.
Lighting is hard.
Yeah.
I also have it posted at tfradio.net if you want to go and look at that.
And there was a bunch of stuff in it. Some was Transformers related, some was not. There was a Loyal Subjects figure. I think Brian got the Loot Crate too, and he broke his Loyal Subjects figure.
Yeah.
Of course he did.
It was slag.
I was so...
Guess what?
I was actually disappointed.
Guess what was one of the first Transformers I ever broke, which was, I think, number 2. Slag. But the thing is, here's the thing. The legs were put on backwards, so his tail protruded from some other place. And, yeah. So I was trying to pop the leg off to put it back in place, and it's ball jointed. It should work, right? Not so much. It came off. So it snapped off, actually. So I sent an email to Loot Crate to ask if I can return that, and they responded back. I just haven't read the response yet, because if they say no, I'm going to be ticked off. But I expect them to say yes, because I am certain they're a great company. But, so, what about that, do you like the shirt?
I'm not big on the shirt. I've never seen a crossover with Back to the Future.
Well, that's the point.
And Transformers.
It's not. I think it's an unlicensed. It was a shirt they could get cheap.
Is that the Marty McFly shirt
Yes.
from the DeLorean?
Yes.
Yeah, that was on. I've seen that before. It's kind of it's an interesting shirt.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much something that fit the theme. They could get cheap. That didn't sell out when it was first released like 3 or 4 years ago. So there's not an actual Back to the Future Transformers crossover.
But I did see the DeLorean at Universal Studios.
Really?
Yes, it's in the museum part close to the Transformers the movie ride.
That's cool. Did you get a chance to hop on the ride?
Yes, I did.
Did you like it?
It was short, but it was really well done. Because, well, Brian, you've been on it. You and Rob were on it, correct?
Yeah, we got to ride it as many times as we wanted with no lines whatsoever.
You remember that towards the end when you fall off the building?
When I close my eyes, yeah, I remember that.
Before Bumblebee grabs you.
Yeah.
That you forgot you were just in a Right. Because the way
I closed my eyes because, honest to God, my inner ear was telling me I wasn't falling. The rest of me was telling me that I was falling, and it just freaked me out.
It's just the way they do the jets of air, the position of the car, the 3D effects. You forget, and you think you're falling towards the ground off top of a skyscraper.
It's amazing. Yeah, I really loved it.
I enjoyed it. Plus, I got an evac, so I got an evac from the.
I'm not crazy about evac.
Well,
it's like missing most of the Transformer.
I figured I was there. I'll probably never be back. Why not?
It's like the equivalent of like a Transformer that would be like one of those railroad cars that just has the pump thing on it that you like press down on one side and press. That's kind of what evac is to me. So let's see here. What else is going on this week? I'm trying to think if did I get any toys or anything besides Loot Crate. We got in a copy of Rise of the Dark Spark for review. We're gonna have that, like I said, we'll have that review up this week in this episode. We'll also post it separate from the show if you just want to check that out. I'm certain I got some sort of toy. Oh no, I got my Retron 5, and the first thing I played was Mystery of Convoy.
Oh.
Yeah. So I was able to confirm that it works, and now I can leave feedback on eBay, which I got it in 1999. So I don't know that will work.
No, I don't think it will.
Yeah. So nice. I know. Let's see. Let's see. Besides the Retron 5, did anybody get anything cool, toy wise? Oh, the animated box set.
That's not
animated
a toy.
Complete series. No, but it's awesome.
Yeah, it's not a box set. It's how many discs is it?
6.
Oh, is it? I didn't even open it yet.
I do need to get that.
Yeah, me too.
Unfortunately, it's missing like all the shorts that were on the previous DVD releases.
That's kind of disappointing.
Yeah, that is.
Oh,
disappointing.
that's disappointing.
Yeah, there's really not any special features at all. That's
like
kind of disappointing.
Basically, what people's consensus has been is it's better to get the existing Season 1 and Season 2 and then buy Shout Season 3, because then you get the most amount of stuff. That's been my understanding of how it's actually gone down.
Well, that would have been good to know about a couple weeks ago.
On a slightly related tangent, I asked Derek Wyatt at BotCon during the animated panel, what exactly did Sorry tell Optimus when he asked where the little organics came from? No, in his mind, what would he have wrote down? And I believe he said basically whatever Tara leaned over and told David, he has no idea. But she leaned over and said something, and David turned red. So whatever it was definitely interesting. He said that that one scene was sort of hard to get past censors, because they were saying, well, that'll bring up a lot of questions for kids. It's like, and he responded that basically, we don't know she got it right. For all we know, she's telling them comes from Cabbage Patches or storks. So he was able to kind of skirt the thing by saying basically, by not knowing, she wasn't saying anything, but it was just, he said something was said and he chose not to find out what.
So because last week's episode was so jam-packed, we didn't cover everything. So one thing we didn't actually talk about was the Transformers Angry Birds crossover, which I think is like a big non-story. But nothing else has come from that in the last week, has it?
No.
Are we getting?
Don't think so.
Are we getting a Transformers Angry Birds game or a Transformers Angry Birds merchandise? Both or what?
I would
say at least
mostly
a game.
merchandising.
Really?
Because like the Angry Birds Star Wars stuff is all merchandising.
I thought there was a game.
No, they have games. Yeah, they have games first. The merchandising may have been.
But the thing you see everywhere is the merchandising. I think that's what's driving it.
I mean, they got to make money somehow, especially on all those free games.
Am I the only one that's never played Angry Birds and has no desire to? Is it just me?
No, you're not alone.
Okay, because it's just...
It's a fun diversion, but I wouldn't like sink a lot of time into it.
Yeah.
I like the semi-physics games like that. You know, they're a nice distraction sometimes.
Whether the physics is realistic or not, I mean, that's
not really the point.
It's an internally consistent physics, so that you can actually,
Yeah, you can learn how everything moves,
Yes.
and that's how you advance through the game.
Yeah, fun. Game.
It's like speedrunning Mario.
That's exactly right. It really is. It's all parabola. Got to love the parabola. So, yeah. Let's see here. What else did we not mention last week? We started to talk about the. Gosh, what was it? There was something. God, did I delete it? I deleted it. It was
good job.
It was the new Transformers series, the 2015 Robots in Disguise. Hoping that we would get more news at BotCon. But did we
kind of not.
Yeah.
That's probably going to be Comic-Con thing.
Yeah, that's sad.
like there's going to be a preview thing on July 4th on the Hub during a Transformers marathon.
How far along in production are we? Do we know who like the showrunner is or anything like that?
I have no idea of any of that. I'm not sure that's been announced. I think the only thing we're going to see... Remember the first preview for Transformers Prime, which debuted at Comic-Con in like 2010 or 2009?
2010.
What year?
I think it's 2010.
Yeah. It was just that one little animation sample, and I think we're going to get something like that. It's just going to be on the Hub before Comic-Con happens because the anniversary marathon.
Yeah, and the Hub needs content.
Yeah.
Comic-Con.
Yeah, ever since Transformers Prime ended, like since the first time they aired Predacons Rising, that was the last time I ever turned the Hub on.
Yeah, I don't actually.
Same here.
I don't have a way of watching the Hub anymore, so.
I mean, I still got it on my satellite. I just have no reason to watch it.
Yeah. Let's yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
That's her name.
Yeah. Wrong series.
Yeah.
Wrong series. Let's see here. What else do we have going on? I think the best news all week, even maybe including all the BotCon stuff. The new SDCC exclusive.
That's the one that seems to have the widest appeal. Let's put it that way.
I loves it, and I love the price too. It's the class of 1984, so it's a 30-pack Creon set for $60.
It's the Creon yearbook.
Yes,
that is excellent.
It is awesome. Look at this. And
it's a really nice looking set, and kind of like when they did in 2011 the first edition Deluxe Prime with the Matrix packaging is one of those things like, okay, you get this, but you probably just want to leave it in the box.
Definitely. Yeah. I really, 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 really want this. It looks really nice.
Who's the one little character up at the top corner?
There's Frenzy and Rumble in there from the whatever their town series figures are.
Is it Cityville?
Yeah, I think so. They took two of the Cityville minifigures and used them to be Rumble and Frenzy.
Okay.
If you look down on the other side, you should be able to see. I think it's Rumble at the top. No, it's Frenzy at the top because they got the colors wrong again. But it's Frenzy at the top, and then Rumble's like halfway down the middle on the other side.
Yeah.
So we're joined by Peter Van. Peter.
Whoa.
Hey, long time no talk. How you been?
Good, not bad. How are you been? How have you guys been?
Pretty good. So, have you been? What did you think of BotCon?
Some good stuff going on there. So this year, I don't know. Did you guys think it was better than most, or?
We'll see. We'll get to it in a second. So, there was another SDCC set debuted or that was released that I completely forgot about. So this was what G1 color Dinobots with a Teletran 1 / ARC playset cardboard box.
Yep, no slog in this set. Just the 4 we've seen so far.
I believe they said there will be a slog in G1 colors released at a later time, though.
Oh, okay, all right.
Or they're at least trying to find a way to do that.
Yeah.
Now,
we've heard that before.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, I'll be honest. Most San Diego sets, like, okay, that's nice. This, I'm almost willing to camp out on H.A.C.K.S after the show to try to get one, but I don't think there's going to be any left, and if there are, it'll be so few.
Yeah, I think it's going to sell out really, really quick.
I mean, even faster than Metroplex.
I'm certain that in some capacity, they have to hold some of this stuff back for Hasbro Toy Shop.
Yeah,
Right.
but the demand far outstrips what they hold back.
True.
And the
Typically.
last time we tried this, does anyone remember a little snafu called Nemesis Prime?
Wasn't that like 10 years ago?
That's what I'm saying. Does anyone else remember it? Because I
Wait,
do.
are you talking about the one that's a repaint of the Classics Prime?
The
No.
alternator, wasn't it?
Yeah, the alternator version.
Okay, because I know they did like that.
Yeah.
Classics Prime had no problem whatsoever.
No. The alternator Nemesis Prime was an absolute god awful nightmare. This will make it look like a walk-through Matty collector.
You think so?
But wasn't the Nemesis Prime thing also the first year they did that like that?
I think so, but I just remember
So
it being.
that might have something to do with it also, doesn't it?
Doesn't make a difference. It was hell. It was crap. This is going to be worse.
Facts and reality don't really make a difference anyway. I mean,
No.
Yeah, don't let
The one thing I wanted to say about this set is I like the cardboard setup that they have, but I would have paid extra money if that thing was made out of plastic.
Of course you would.
okay, but the thing is though, the set's already like $160, something like that. If the diorama had been made of plastic, this would have been literally $350 to $400 because of
Absolutely.
all that plastic
Oh,
mass.
yeah.
I would have
There's no
paid.
getting around that.
I would have paid $300 for it. Anything
but-
more than that probably
But
would have been a
But how many
stretch.
people would have paid that?
Well, then just go on eBay and you'll pay $400 for it anyway.
Yeah, it's the figures look really nice, but I'm not paying $160 for it. I'm not
Well, no,
buying
it's,
this.
it's like the Knights of Unicron thing. It's an amazing spectacle. It's not a spectacle that makes me want to put down the money they're asking for it, which I understand they have to ask that because there's a lot of stuff. But still, it's expensive for what it is. The other thing, too, with this, the Snarl in that set looks really nice in the G1 colors. And, we found out through BotCon that Snarl's not going to be in the movie.
Yeah.
So, why couldn't they have made Snarl in the G1 colors the actual retail toy and then, had a different Dinobot figure in G1 colors in this set? Like Slog, maybe.
Yeah, don't know.
That would have been my preference, honestly.
Yeah, it seems like the logistics are way off there when you take that into account. Still, nice set. If you're going to try to get it, the best of luck to you.
Yeah,
Get in line
Go for
early.
it.
I'm totally not getting it. Let's
Me
see.
either.
One more.
But it's nice to look at.
I think we have one more news item before we jump to the BotCon recap. Let's see here. So it looks like there's going to be Age of Extinction Dinobot Micron figures from Takara Tomy.
Hmm.
They look nice.
Yep, more clear plastic minicons. Ooh.
I think they look nice.
Well, wait a minute. All that is just the Dinobot.
Yeah, it's a
mold.
Cybertron. It's a Cybertron dinosaur minicon
Yeah,
Holy
it's
crap!
brim-
It is. It
Yeah,
is.
it's
in clear plastic
brimstone.
color.
Yeah, it's brim. Yeah, because you can get
I
that.
already have these.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that brimstone. The brimstone is from the Kmart sets,
Mm-hmm.
and then
This-
the other three.
this
And
is-
the other three are from the. Yeah, that's.
This is why I'm unimpressed.
Yeah, it's.
I don't know. I don't know.
Well, I mean,
I like the look of them in the clear plastic.
if you don't have the Triceratops and the Pterodon, you can get those now in the Evolution sets
Yeah.
as it is now. And the Brimstone is an okay minicon, but it's nothing to write home about.
Hmm.
Sorry, that's just epic blah.
I don't know.
I was never a big fan of any of those dinosaur minicons, honestly.
Maybe that's why I'm just like, Maybe I just kind of like whitewashed them for my brain. I've got them.
Oh, speaking of whitewashed, Brian, did y'all talk about that Optimus Prime last week? The U.S. version of the Takara version.
I think we talked about it.
2 weeks ago.
No, we talked about the Takara version 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we talked. Did we talk about it during BotCon? I think
BotCon.
You
BotCon recap.
mentioned
Yeah.
it during the
Okay,
Saturday
'cause-
episode.
Yeah, because I missed last week because I was trying to sleep, getting ready for my.
The deco seems to be like the deco on the Takara version seemed to be a little shinier than this.
Because it's more paint.
Yeah. So this is just the base color.
The same thing that Takara is doing with excessive paint applications, this will be doing through use of plastic colors and, more economical use of paint.
Yeah. Or Tampa grass.
But it's nice to get
That's
one.
paint.
Yeah.
But it's nice to get one in the U.S. without having to pay the $65 in shipping.
Well, considering this is in a 3-pack with 2 deluxes, it probably still will be $65.
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh.
and did anyone else think that, what's that other figure in there that's from the cross-cut mold? Or the crosshairs
Roll bar.
mold? Roll bar.
Yeah.
Looking at the photos without seeing the name, I thought that was Cup. Like, his face looked like a cup.
And we're also getting a
Didn't
hot
see
shot
that.
from that mold too.
From Crosshairs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's very Trax-ish.
Mm-hmm.
It looks okay. I'm not really a huge fan of the Trax blue and that pink deco, but, whatever. Crap, I wish I could find all my photos from BotCon. It would just be easier for me to pull this up.
Yeah.
So, I had forgotten that it was actually part of a set. I'm a little saddened because I'm not going to buy. I don't want to buy all 3 of those for that one figure. Especially when it doesn't look as good.
Yeah, that now that I remember, because I'd forgotten about that too, Brian. It's just, I think I'd rather just spend the money and get that Takara Prime instead of 2 figures that doesn't really do anything for me. It's kind of sad.
Okay.
And you'll get a better prime out of it, so.
Yeah, that's true.
I have no idea what that was, but I just heard something fall. Kind of great.
It was a cat.
It's probably the cat.
Probably the cat. Okay, so
it's always the cat.
It's always the cat. Maybe Massey's here to
Yeah.
fight.
Still
the
your
cat.
Transform your day into an adventure.
Okay, so speaking of that, I just want to go ahead and jump to Puppet Prime. So it's not Puppet Prime, but I forgot who it was on
But
my
it
Twitter.
kind of is.
Exactly, I forgot who it was on my Twitter who said this, and I love this idea. So basically, taking the Voyager Optimus that we are getting, which was revealed at BotCon 2014. If you look at it as Puppet Prime from quote unquote Season 5, it's pretty amazing. It just needs
Season 5 of what?
G1.
Okay.
Tommy Kennedy
quote
season.
unquote Season 5.
Yeah.
Like, it's not really Season 5. It's like old episode. It's pre G2, but it's old episodes with a new bumper that's like a
It's
stop motion.
Season 5 for syndication purposes.
Yes, that's it's Optimus Prime. That's stop motion puppet, and Tommy Kennedy, who's the kid, whatever his name was. He showed up at BotCon last year.
Jason Jansen.
Yeah, Jansen. Yeah. This just needs a Creo Tommy Kennedy, and it will be perfect. I love this because of that.
Yeah, the people I was talking to at BotCon, that Prime really did not go over with a lot of folks.
That's because they didn't think of it in that context. I didn't like it to begin with, but now that I realized that it's my Puppet Prime, it's the greatest thing ever.
Well, that's great for you, Ryan.
I love it.
Okay, here's the thing though. Which do you prefer? The Leader Megatron or the Leader Armada Megatron?
Leader Megatron.
Leader Megatron.
Leader
easy.
Megatron.
Yeah, that's what I was getting to. The Armada Megatron is just I think someone summed it up by, who was it that said? I might have been on the BotCon recap y'all did this. Leader Megatron wearing Armada Megatron's hat.
Yeah, pretty much. Let me just go ahead and pull that up. Yeah, so Leader Megatron is he looks pretty nice. It doesn't look as nice as I was hoping.
Yeah, well.
But he does come with stickers that you can make him Autobot or Decepticon.
This is true.
Why would you want to make him an Autobot?
IDW.
Read the comics.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Sorry.
Actually, this is a good time to go read the comics because right now Comixology is having a sale on
Yes,
the current IDW stuff.
All of the
You can get everything up to last month's issues of Morgan BCI and Robots in Disguise for $60.
so does 50.
$50?
Yeah.
Even better.
50, I believe, yeah.
It's a great
But
yeah, I
you're
mean-
also talking to the person who has Last in the Records on his iPad that he paid for and just hasn't had time to read it.
It doesn't matter though. Go get all the stuff
Well-
and you'll have that on your iPad too, and you can
Well, now,
read it after
Doc-
you read Last Stand.
Well, Diecast, I've told you, if you go to the bathroom, you have time
Yes.
to take your iPad with you.
Yeah, but Diecast is half your age. His plumbing runs faster.
So he turns into
I'm in and out.
Yeah. He just flies by. He turns into a tank. And it's pretty nice. So let me quickly...
The thing that bugged me about the Armada one is that the colors are more interesting in that tank mode, but the robot mode looks so terrible.
So, Peter, if I remember correctly, you were an Armada kid, weren't you?
I was actually a Beast Wars kid.
Oh. I thought you were one of the...
I'm sorry.
Your audio's low.
Yeah, you're a little quiet there, Peter.
Your audio's, like, bad.
Quiet. You're very far away, Peter, and you're getting farther.
It's like you're floating away.
Why is he
Come
floating
back
here in
to
space
us.
like this?
My back.
Just
Potentially.
Just yell.
Talk loud.
Whoa!
So, okay, so you were a Beast Wars kid. Okay.
Yeah.
But
I
you,
did suffer through all of Armada, though. Unfortunately.
so what do you think of this leader class Megatron?
Not bad. Okay-ish.
It literally looks like the G1 Megatron wearing a Armada Megatron Halloween costume.
Yeah.
But it,
I don't understand why he wouldn't, though.
but it has Minicon ports.
The colors don't map onto that mold is the problem.
Yeah.
Well, they do in tank mode, but I have to think a lot of tanks would look like Armada Megatron in those colors.
Yeah, because, tanks are sometimes green, sometimes tan. They're
Sometimes
not usually
purple.
silver.
Purple.
They're not usually silver.
It's
But they
really
should.
yeah. When I first heard the news of Armada Megatron, I got so excited because I love Armada Megatron.
And then you saw the picture.
And then I saw the figure.
Yeah, then the press kit stuff came out, and
Yeah.
hey,
At least they kind of fixed his. I remember, didn't his legs used to look really, really awkward?
the original Armada Megatron.
Yeah, he had some.
Well,
really,
it didn't really have knees or normal hip.
It was an
joints.
Armada toy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. So it was just blocks of.
It didn't look awkward. It just functioned awkward.
Yeah, pretty much.
But at least the good thing is the money that you save by not buying Armada Megatron means you can buy Brainstorm.
No, I'm buying Armada Megatron anyway.
Oh.
But
Because Gilby.
yeah. So yeah, speaking of Brainstorm, here he is. He's a freaking headmaster. He's Voyager scale, and it's
And quite IDW looking.
yes, it's really nice looking.
It is a thing of beauty.
I'm buying this. So my question is, do I keep Smart Robin or do I sell Smart Robin?
Yes, you keep Smart Robin because Smart Robin's a beautiful piece of engineering.
Yes. Thank you. Finally, some reason.
Because I have Smart Robin and I'm still very much wanting this Brainstorm, and that they will coexist some way or another.
Thank you.
Both are very valid.
God, I never thought I'd agree with XV so much.
It's shocking to me too.
Yeah, I really like Brainstorm. It looks really nice.
And what looks as almost as good as Brainstorm is the Mind Wipe that I saw. But that we'll talk
Did
about.
that look good in person? Because people were kind of flipping out about that on the forums. They were kind of
Go ahead and talk about that, Don.
Okay, all right. Well, I mean, I couldn't get close enough because the gentleman was keeping them behind the table for safety reasons. But the pictures, I mean, as far as not being handled, because they were.
You didn't want to stampede.
Exactly. But from what I saw, they've taken, because when you look at Mind Wipe, the G1 Mind Wipe, a bat, you can't see a lot of different things you could do with a bat with the mass that you have involved. But they've taken the engineering and completely turned it 360, and it looks like it has a transformation completely opposite of what you would think Mind Wipe would do, and it's a really great looking piece.
What I remember hearing from people who saw earlier prototypes, I believe the legs come together and form what is essentially a coffin on the back for the headmaster to ride in the bat mode.
They do. The colors really help seeing how the figure transforms, other than just the stock gray prototypes that we had up until now. But yes, it does fold together, and each half the coffin is on one leg. And when you open it up, there is the spot for the rider to go in.
Did we get photos of that?
That's so great.
That is awesome.
I think I sent you one or two, Brian, but they were kind of far shots. I texted them to
that's
you.
right.
And Brian can't find any of them anyway, so...
Yeah.
I don't have. I haven't put them
That's
on.
Brian's problem, not yours, Don.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I haven't put it. The ones I've got, I haven't done. Haven't put them on Photo Bucket yet.
So when do we expect that to make its way to the public?
I didn't hear of a release date because most everyone at the table was asking about, because he also had Utopia and the upcoming set we're going to talk about in a few minutes.
Okay.
But since there's a colored prototype, we should see that before the end of the year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Probably
Yeah.
much sooner than that. That's the thing, though. That's why I still feel justified with Smart Rob, even though Brainstorm's coming out, because the engineering on these figures is so... It's very... Like, the best thing I can say is this: the engineering is beautiful on these. You know, they don't work the way you would expect them to, and it's worth the price just for this engineering you wouldn't find on a figure otherwise.
It's a legitimate. It seems to be not legitimate. It's not the right word. It's an alternative to the Hasbro philosophy of transformation, and it's
when you're not constrained by a parts count, so much, you can do really neat tricks like what Code does. The thing is, Quadruple U ended up sharing a trick with the original Voyager Predaking completely by coincidence, but at the same time, it's novel in both cases because it's the only two cases that's ever showed up. And Smart Robin has neat tricks too. I mean, you have the figure.
Yeah.
So
the only thing that may delay the Mind Wipe figure is what all the other stuff Fans Project has coming out.
What's its name?
I don't know yet.
I haven't heard of a name. I have not heard of a name yet.
Okay. So before we jump to the amazing awesomeness that is the new Legends figures, let's go ahead and talk about RC. Don, tell us about
Don,
RC.
yeah, go ahead.
All right.
You can come true.
Okay.
Oh, God.
Don,
How much time did you just stand there
take a
staring, Dawn?
Okay. I like the figure. I'm going to say this. No figure they could create will match the picture in my head of what I've been wanting for so long. That being said...
But that's why you're not married, right, though, Don?
Probably. That plus I'm a toy.
Anyway,
short of a masterpiece figure, this is a great-looking RC. The face is good. The pink is right. The colors are right. I am hoping some of the back kibble is a little adjustable, so it's not quite, tramp stamp, with the stuff hanging down. It's kind of like what they said.
I'm not sure that word means what you think it means, Don.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying where everything's... Well, on animated RC, you've got that Autobot symbol on that flap in the back. And if it's down too low, that's what people call it. And the kibble on the back of RC is about the same location. So I'm just saying I'm hoping it can be adjusted a little. If you can't, it's not a problem. It looks great, and I'm hoping it'll be a solidly engineered piece. But
now, Don, do you remember probably about a month ago we saw or we heard that was going to be red and not pink, and I got aggravated at that? Was that just a troll?
No, it was probably... I mean, it could have been an early test shot that got leaked out.
I thought we were basing it on the comic.
Yeah,
Basically,
on the
yeah.
comic.
Issue 27 or 28 of More Than Meets the Eye, I believe it was.
I don't think...
had RC change into a body that probably was based on at least a prototype of this, and it was colored more to the red side of things than pink.
Because I don't think we actually got a prototype of this figure. This is the first time that I remember seeing
it.
it.
This is the first time we have seen this figure.
Yeah, so, I mean, I'm happy with it. Would I like a masterpiece figure? Yes. I think a lot of people would.
You are never going to be satisfied.
I think Don will eventually get a masterpiece figure.
Will it be a headmaster?
Yes.
There's no reason
it needs that option.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
so
I like it.
So what I was really surprised about is I fully expected Chromia to just be a repaint of RC, and it is.
Absolutely.
But it's the prime red RC.
It's a huge remold.
It's amazing.
It's about a 3/5 remold of Prime RC.
Yeah.
Basically, it's probably even close. It's probably even closer to what they did between Sandstorm and Springer.
I think it's actually a little beyond that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Especially since this is a mold that was created in 2011 that they went back and added to this much to make this out of. It's not like Springer and Sandstorm, those two were planned side by side, so all the stuff was on the original tooling. This is
Yes.
stuff they had to go back. They had to go make like a whole new set of molds
true.
to add to this to make this.
Now the good thing is, with it not being a repaint of RC, we have 2 definite female figures, so we should
That we
be
can,
able.
yeah,
well,
we can
three-
get
three
repaints
if
of
we-
both.
I'll be honest with you. I think I like this better than RC. I love
do.
this.
I like
love this.
Chromia better than RC.
Yeah.
I
Three
want to
if
see
you count
Chromia
Windblade.
repainted, and you all know what I want that repainted as.
Afterburner.
Afterburner.
That works for me.
But, you
Have
know,
to be remolded slightly as well.
No,
between-
just
Yeah,
girl
whole new head, obviously.
between
Think of
Windblade,
Afterburner, girl head.
between Windblade, now you got me doing it. Between Windblade, Chromia, and RC, we now have 3 basic female body types. Not mentioning the RC from Prime as she was. We should be able to get a Chromia. I'm not reading IDW, so I'm just saying. We should be able to get Firestar, Moonracer, Alita 1. We should be able to get some of these characters out now in fairly accurate bodies as far as a female build frame. So I'm hoping we'll see
Figure
more
figure
characters.
subscriptions 5, 6, and 7.
Yeah.
It's possible.
We'll get to the subscription
Yeah.
service here in a minute.
Yeah.
I want to jump to the Legends class figures.
Yeah, let's do that because that's pretty cool.
They are amazing,
Because hey, Bombshell.
and it's Bombshell.
Yes.
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 And they did say that, just like the Seekers, if it's a group of 3, like Shrapnel, Bombshell, and Kickback, they try to do the 3 because they know people want that set.
People are
So
OCD.
Yeah, so they did not say yes, we're doing Kickback, but
But
pretty
they want
much
to.
They want to, just like they want to finish out with Skywarp, because we've got Starscream and now we got Thundercracker.
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate that attitude from them because obviously they can't promise to make something a year and a half down the road because
Yeah.
who knows what'll happen even with that. Like, the Legends are probably the thing I'm second most worried about actually seeing at retail just because that price point has had problems
Yeah.
since it was introduced last year. So obviously they can't promise that. They had to, jump through a couple hoops to get Tailgate and everything out. But at the same time, really excited that it's continuing and they're doing the other Insecticons, or at least want to.
Yeah.
Yeah, that line makes me nervous because I still see Prime and Bumblebee on the shelf, and they were the first wave.
That's,
And
Prime,
then
Prime and Bumblebee are the only ones I see on the shelf. I don't know
Yeah.
why
Okay.
that keeps getting
Okay.
Okay,
restocked.
so
Across
I mean,
Megatron.
you have to rewind it a little bit though, because what caused the problem was the Data Disc Legends 2-packs. Because those are in the same assortment, they're on the same numbers in the inventory systems. That's what backed everything up. The distribution centers, Walmart have a lot of Primes and Bumblebees because the distribution centers had those and never got to send them out because the stores stopped ordering them because the data discs didn't sell. So they're starting to work through that stuff, but the online retailers are getting the newer ones because they will stock on top of that to get the new stuff in. That's why that is. Before that assortment started disappearing, I saw Starscream. I got Starscream that I bought at a Target. I saw Megatron. I didn't buy that at the time. We saw those at Shardicon even.
Yeah.
Yeah, I picked one up. I picked Megatron up.
Yeah. Because I remember playing with Chop Shop and thinking, "Hey, this is just a pair of scissors, and that's the entire transformation."
Yeah.
It's weird because I've only seen Cosmos and Tailgate down at the Targets near the mom's house. Up here, all we have is Prime and Bumblebee as well, so it's very sporadic distribution on where these Cosmoses are and Tailgate are.
But what
showing
I was
up.
going to say also is what worries me is the next wave of figures is a Bumblebee and a Prime repaint, and they're the ones that are still on the pegs.
Mm-hmm.
So that kind of worries me. And then we're going to start getting the wave of Legends that we really want.
But since it's a recolor wave, they might be doing these in smaller quantities to head off the stoppage that they may cause. Because I think remember Power Core Combiners and how Wave 3 of the small toys was all recolors?
Yes.
And that killed it. I mean, that literally killed Power Core Combiners in
You
stores.
remember Power Core Combiners?
Scream
I
of
love
us.
Power Core Combiners. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Now-
I
There we
love
go.
Power Core Combiners. I always keep one nearby.
Yes. Now, we are getting now. The next wave should be the Acid Storm wave, which is the Starscream phase.
Yeah, I think
And
it is.
gears.
Acid storming gear.
Yes. So we've got a wave to go before we hit the Prime and Bumblebee repaint.
Okay.
Plus that'll be closer to Christmas. So hopefully the Prime and Bumblebees that we have now will be starting to thin out, so we're not running into a beehive situation.
Yeah,
So-
I don't think that's going to be.
Of the ones that we're getting, I think Bombshell probably looks the best.
Bombshell
I
looks
don't know.
great.
Absolutely.
I don't know.
But Power Glide looks
Power
amazing.
Glide.
Power Glide. I'm definitely.
I'm
for Power
partial. I'm
Glide.
partial to Power Glide. I love him as a character.
Yeah.
I mean, and none of the Insecticons are like great characters.
Yeah, I mean, the only reason I care about the Insecticons is because if you ever read the Insecticomics, which was like a 5 or 6 year long fan comic thing using toys, that's where my appreciation for Insecticons comes from, because it was hilarious. But no, I mean, I'm not knocking Power Glide. It's just like Shrapnel was already a pretty good little Insecticon toy, and Bombshell looks to even improve on that. So
Yeah.
Power Glide looks great too, though. I mean, I got the Universe Power Glide as Stormcloud, and I don't actually have a Power Glide, so I'm fine. I'm looking forward to this.
I got the original, the off-color Power Glide. Plus, I have, oh God, was it Mach-A Toys? The
bomber.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who was that? Was that Mach-A Toys?
Mach-A, yeah.
Yeah, I've got that.
Figure.
I've got that. It's okay.
Well, now I'll be honest. The movie Power Glide is not a bad figure. No, the basic.
No, the
Power
styling's just a little off, but I mean, it's basically the same.
Yeah.
Basically the same.
But Power Glide needs to come with a Target Master Astoria. So there was
Well,
some
that's
tragic.
That'd be a little creepy.
There was some tragic accident. Now she's a cyborg.
So Power Glide's version of Daniel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's the thing though. None of the 2015 Legends were shown with partner figures, and I'm really hoping that's just because they hadn't got that part locked in yet. Not that they're not going to come with them.
Because if it's all recolors from what we've got already.
Yeah, and
Because all the Insecticons need to come with their own reflector.
So wait. So we did not see Windcharger with.
Windcharger did not show one.
Power Glide didn't have one.
I mean, it looks nice, but I mean, there's so many people that didn't get the old Windcharger.
Okay, so check this. You got Starscream here. There's a red, a gray, and a blue plastic sphere. Then you got Waspinator, who is all greens. There's no greens on Starscream, so I'm pretty sure all of the partner figures are molded separately. So it's very possible they've got the main figures worked out, and either the partners are not assigned yet, or they're still working on tooling those up, and they're just going to be separate. And because Takara did a whole set of the Target Master partners as other clear plastic exclusives a couple months ago.
Hey Don, it looks like Massey has competition.
Oh hey.
Ah.
So like I said, I'm not calling it.
That kitty cat doesn't attack.
Peter's not getting attacked by the cat.
That's because he's not done.
My cat.
I'm not ready to that there's not going to be partner figures with those. I'm hoping that just because these are obviously not on the same sprues, that we're just going to see those turn up later when they actually figure out what's coming with what.
Yeah. So I found out that the thing that the cat knocked over a few minutes ago was the diaper genie, which I use as a litter genie, but thankfully it was empty.
I was wondering about that.
Yeah.
Now, one thing, the Cliff Jumper comes with, it looks like it's the roller option, the roller Target Master from Prime, which would kind of be which you can kind of say is the canon that he used in More Than Meets the Eye, Episode 1. But I mean, I can't. But like, you put Waspinator with, say, Windcharger. How?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that would be the case anyway, because Waspinator's already reused once.
Yeah.
Right. But there needs to be some synergy between the partners.
Yeah,
and,
no, I understand that. I had jokingly suggested on Twitter that for whoever gets the recolor of Reflector, it could be Perceptor, the microscope.
Yeah. So let's see here, Windcharger. So I was going to say that it could be, if we had a Trax, he could get Chop Shop, and then it could be the place that Raoul worked for.
But didn't Megatron come with Chop Shop?
Yeah. Chop Shop is like a place where they take cars.
No, I know that, but they've already used Chop Shop as one of the partners.
Yeah.
That was my complaint. Not that I didn't know what a Chop Shop was, Brian.
Yeah, it's okay.
Now, I wondered, do you think maybe they could bring over some of the ARMS microns already assembled?
Probably not.
The partners?
That would, I don't think that would meet budget.
No, it wouldn't meet budget. It doesn't meet the play pattern.
Okay.
Probably there's concerns with safety.
Micron? ARMS Micron? Target Master partner. Do we see a difference here?
Yeah. Let's see here. So what else do we have going on with the...
While you that out, the one other thing about the Legends, we saw the Nemesis Prime bio, which is actually more of the Spinister bio for the partner figure it comes with than the bio for the big toy, which I thought was kind of neat.
That's fitting. Let's see here. So the subscription service 3.0.
Oh.
Yeah.
We can just run through that real quick. I thought we have photos of that online. So
there are.
So, oh yeah, here actually Mind Wipe. Just real quick, since we were talking about that earlier. Here are the photos. So, off the top of my head, Serpent OR is
a thing of beauty.
I like it.
Is.
And just shows how useful or flexible that Scourge mold is.
And it was like we said in the pre-show, who would have thought it would have made a great DevCon? Who would have thought, as Serpent OR, it would look that good?
Do you know how many people actually suggested making DevCon of the Scourge?
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I never...
That was not off the wall or uncommon at all. Sorry.
That's fine.
Or that Alpha Trion.
The Alpha Trion's a little bit less obvious, but even still, people were suggesting that back then too, with the original head because it had the beard and everything.
Yeah.
Well, y'all know who that is,
I
right?
also saw somebody suggesting that Serpentor could also be repurposed as like Death Cobra, the 7th Leo Kaiser member.
Okay.
Well, hey, now we remember when they showed that Scourge, when Scourge came out, he had the alternate head. The alternate head looked like Leozak,
Yeah,
but we never got that head.
but Japan did for Ratbat. We never got that head because things kind of changed here and they couldn't sell that toy at retail anymore.
Right.
Yeah. Thank you, Melvar.
Yeah, mine's like, oh, is mine within arm's reach? Oh, it is. It is now.
Everybody can pull next V tonight.
I just reorganized this week.
I don't have anything to...
let's see.
What can I pull?
Oh, there's a loading thing.
So while I pull these up, Don, tell us what you thought about the Botcon set.
I thought it was very... The comic helps pull the set together a little bit better. So one of the things I heard from a lot of people was the set seems so random. Again, we'll never know behind the scenes what molds they have to pick from with what they can request, plus what a Hasbro has to approve. That being said, the comic does make the set seem more sense about with the time frame this is being set in. So there's that. The main box set I like. There is a QC issue with the Cannonball figure. The gold
With
paint
all of them, right?
Yeah, with all of them, yes. I heard of a few. Very few was right. Basically, the knees are on the wrong legs and aren't flush with the shins. It still transforms fine, but there is that issue. So if you get a box set or a loose bag set, if the knees are sticking out a little bit, it's like Swoop's trick knee. His knee gets there a little bit before the rest of him. But the add-on figures, the Pounce Wingspan clones are very nice looking. The 3-pack, and this is the first time we've had a 3-pack since they've been doing it that was not the same figure, like a Troop Builder figure.
Oh, that's right.
But of course you had the Flare Up, you had the Alpha Trizer, who, spoiler, anybody want a spoiler for this?
Yes.
Cheetor.
Okay, it's Cheetor, which is so this gives you an idea of when this takes place in the continuity timeline, and you've also got who was the third one? Flare Up.
Was that was it
Ape Link.
Yes.
Ape Link. Yeah, Ape Link. Thank you, XVI. in return.
So last week,
yeah.
when we did the show, we had thought that Ape Link was going to be a figure, but we weren't certain. So it was nice to see that was confirmed. And
it was confirmed for me that they couldn't do the deco to look anywhere near as nice as the original one.
Yeah. But the Primal Prime did sell out at the show. That's the only one they had sold out over that I saw was the Primal Prime, which was
and the box set.
And the box set and the bag set too.
Yeah.
So there's that.
Yeah,
But,
I guess I'll never get those figures now. Darn it.
That's okay.
Yeah, but
Have you seen DevCon's face?
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, I was really disappointed in that. Someone put a comparison shot between the concept and then the actual toy, and they were really different.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and overall, I like the set. I like the add-on figures, and I think once you read the comic, you'll see how it all ties together character-wise.
Okay, so subscription service 3.0. We'll just run through this. We have Croc, who is based on Megatron, and
Obligatory Action Master.
yeah, looks like we're going to get an Action Master each and every time we do this.
They like updating the Action Masters, and a lot of the time they do it pretty well.
Yeah.
I mean, Circuit was an unfortunate exception, but, you can't have a winner every time. But a lot of my favorite toys they've done have been Action Master updates, like Kickoff in 2012.
Mm-hmm.
That's a pretty deco.
Nacelle, who is based on the Seeker mold. So this
Let
is
it
what
die! Let it die!
yeah.
Let the mold die?
Yes!
Yeah. I'm disappointed we got 2 of that mold in
I know!
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, but I know it's a bad mold, but I will buy Seekers as long as they keep putting them out.
Serpentoir,
this. You're the problem, Matt.
which we talked about already, based on
Yes, but I don't watch the movies now, do I?
That makes you part of the problem.
I'm watching the movie socially.
Yeah.
and Zap with JB Blackrock. That's cool. Based on the Goldfire Bumblebee mold.
That's your obligatory super obscure, because that's a toy based on a canceled Japanese line.
Yes, I didn't know about
1994.
I didn't know about the line until this past weekend when Aunt told me about it, because I didn't remember that was going to be a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember the name when they mentioned it, the Bricktown name, but I couldn't put anything with it other than just a name that I heard at one point.
Yeah.
Yeah, Blocktown was how Takara was going to release what we got is it was Rapido in that batch, right? Of small Autobot cars.
Yes.
That's how they were going to release that. I think there were going to be Cyberjets in that too.
Oh crap! Yeah, the timing on that. Yeah, 94. Yeah, so that would have worked.
So the Japanese name for the toy in the subscription set was Cars Zap, which is typically Japanese and makes no sense.
Yeah.
So we have Zap, who comes with a little block figure man to be GB Blackrock to tie into the theme.
And, and a Creo gas pump.
I mean, it kind of bothers me that it's something so obscure. I don't know what it is, so and then it's not. It's an okay mold. It's not a great mold. So at least if you're going to give me something obscure, give me it on a mold I really like.
That's another mold they're getting a lot of mileage out of that I didn't expect.
Yeah.
I can understand going. They know that some of their audience likes this obscure stuff. People like me are into that kind of stuff because it's like, hey, here's this little bit of trivia that we know, and it's neat to see that represented in some way. I like that with Circuit too, because that's a little bit less obscure, but not a whole lot of people know the whole deal and using it on that mold.
Yeah.
But yeah, and at least Goldfire is not the worst mold they could have put that on.
No, it's definitely not the worst, but
I'm just saying I didn't see them
molds.
getting that much mileage out of it.
Yeah.
I'm not really surprised. When we first saw Bumblebee at Toy Fair last year, I was half expecting them to do a Rodimus off of it because I mean some of the shapes line up for that.
They still could.
They definitely could.
And also they did say that when you look at the colors in car mode, it's going to be a white and a clear purple on the windows. The colors are really going to be something in vehicle mode that makes that figure stand out. So they were really stressing.
Good thing they only put the robot mode in the PowerPoint.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the only thing. But,
So, G2 Starscream, based on the Seeker mold.
Let it die!
Yeah. Yeah.
G2 Starscream from that picture doesn't look that much different than G1 Starscream.
It's
And
different.
the
But
original Starscream wasn't that much different either.
yeah,
No.
yeah. Ramjet was a lot more of a departure
Yeah.
from G2 to G1 than Starscream was.
and Tarantulas based on Junk Heap. Yep. So.
But I can see where they're going with that. It's not. It doesn't make me want to buy the set, but I think for the Dawn of Futures Past, if you want to try to fill out the Dark Side crew, that's not a bad idea.
So of all the things that have we covered everything we're talking about that was actually shown, that was actually released? Because I want to jump to the 2015 line if we haven't.
Well, the one thing I want to I'll bring the go ahead, Brian.
Go ahead, Don.
No, I was just going to say the one thing that sort of miffed me was what they showed versus how many has been left unseen.
Yeah, there's a lot. So what, 16 deluxes or so?
Yeah,
16 deluxes, 4
more-
Voyagers.
And
Yeah.
I'm just wondering how much is going to be that will be.
But
revealed.
isn't that the 2015 line?
Yeah.
Well,
We're
yeah, that's-
over
that's
halfway.
That's the part of the 2015 line they have planned so far.
Yeah, so they're already.
And don't forget, sorry, Brian, don't forget, we got the 2014 line in December 2013.
Yeah, it always works.
so-
It always works that way. But before we move on, Peter, did anything interesting stand out to you among the subscription stuff? What caught your eye?
I usually don't like the subscription stuff.
Good enough. Peter just didn't get much of a chance to talk during that whole thing, and
that's true.
Peter's kind of been out of it as far as like Transformers goes.
yeah,
Have you been keeping up with anything, Peter, or have you been living life and doing awesome stuff?
I keep up once in a while. So I mean, I was trying to keep up with the BotCon coverage. Some good stuff, obviously. I mean, there's some really good stuff here and there. Always they do that, but I haven't really gone and bought a lot of stuff or kept up too much. But I did kind of come back a little bit recently to kind of the BotCon and stuff.
Yeah,
it's hard not to mention the BotCon. I mean, that and Toy Fair are really...
Yeah, those are what usually catch me and bring me back in for a little bit, just to see what's going on.
Well,
There's a Target downstairs from where I work, so I just gotta look at it.
It's our favorite thing every year, too. Toy Fair and BotCon.
Yeah, the big events I come back for.
yeah.
But even when, I was always into it, the subscription service stuff never really... I mean, it was cool, but at the same time, I was like, oh, okay.
Well, okay.
And-
So from the first subscription set, the only thing I kind of wanted was Slipstream, and that ended up not being enough want to actually get one.
Yeah.
From the
Yeah.
second one, I kind of wanted Iron Fist only because I'd done a Photoshop similar to that after Comic-Con when we saw the record retools. But I ended up canceling that pre-order. And then Treadshot, which I am still getting, but out of 2 sets, that's 1 figure that I'm actually going for. And there's nothing in the third one.
I still haven't gotten any out of the first 2 sets, so...
So, 2015. So, what was hinted? Oh yeah, Don was pointing out the best thing ever, which of course
Ultra
is
Mammoth.
Yeah, Ultra Mammoth. So, so 2015. What we are hearing, I don't know that they explicitly said it, but they hinted at it.
Yeah. Okay. So
yeah,
The thing,
they said they could not say anything, but they
always
pushed
say
to
that.
be up. Yeah. They said they can't say anything, but they did throw up a silhouette and didn't comment on it.
that very much.
They can't say anything until San Diego Comic-Con.
Yes.
Yes.
So,
yeah, so they put up a silhouette that most people agree looks like Superion.
so combiners.
Also a silhouette of helicopter guy, which if that pattern follows could either be
Blades
Blades.
or Vortex.
Vortex or Blades, yeah.
I'm hoping that it's Blades, but I know
Or
most
both.
people- yeah, it's true. So are we thinking that the pattern is going to be and those are deluxes? Those are deluxes.
16 deluxes.
Is the pattern going to be deluxes for the limbs and Voyagers for the body?
I
The
hope
God,
so.
I hope so.
I
Well,
hope so.
If
The
there's
numbers
four,
for the match.
yeah, well, if there's 4 Voyagers left and there's 16 Deluxes,
Math works out.
That's 4 entire teams.
yeah,
That's your major teams right there.
yeah,
That's
the
your
numbers-
aerial bots, your Stunticons, your Combaticons, and
Protectobots.
Protectobots.
Yeah, I mean that follows, and people who have been studying that horrible Voyager Prime are starting to think that there's stuff on that looks like it could be combiner related too.
Yeah.
So that must also fit into the pattern.
That would
just-
be amazing.
Yep.
So basically, my thought has been for the last year and a half, Hasbro's been doing a major FU to third parties.
Seems that way.
Wait, they've always done that. Though.
Well, no, I mean they've stepped
No,
up their
not with the
game.
product they're actually producing,
They're-
not
they're-
just the general attitude.
They're producing product that
Oh,
is geared toward basically
Collectors.
us. Yeah,
you're right. They're aiming it. Right.
it's they're basically looking at the stuff that third parties are doing. Is like, well, we can do that better and cheaper.
Yeah. Well, now the litter Jetfire is the FU to Harmony Gold, but that's the exception.
Huh, yeah, that's true.
That's great, except the timing doesn't work out for that at all.
Oh.
I wish, Don. I wish.
Oh, how long does it take from start to finish to actually?
18 months at least.
That's 12. Actually,
There
not even
was
12.
Now,
not enough time. Leader Jetfire-
I think Don is right. I think that was the middle finger to Harmony Gold, and they just rushed that San Diego Comic-Con set to go ahead and get the lawsuit out of the way.
Dude, that head is so freaking Robotech. So, but yeah, so it's a big FU to third parties. I mean, look at Springer, like Warbotron Defender or whatever. Was it Defender?
Warbot Defender,
Warbot
yeah.
Defender was the
Warbotron's a different group.
yes. Warbot Defender was the Springer. We have combiners. Combiners are the thing that are in vogue. Headmasters. Look, we have 2 brainstorms that are headmasters. This is a brainstorm. Heck, I don't know that a Platinum Edition Predaking counts as an FU to all the
No.
third parties.
Not a reissue. I'm just.
But the
not
mold-
gonna
the mold-
count
the
that.
mold-
It's at least the thing they had available that, you know.
The mold's been reissued like 5 times in the last 10 years. So I mean, like XV says, it's available. I don't know. I think it probably is. So I
At
mean,
least a little bit.
yeah. So I mean, for most people, the original Predaking is fine, and it was fit. And I was able to snag this issue of it for $50 on Amazon.
Can you just think back like 10 years to what people were paying to piece together vintage Predakings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
then,
that made
you
me
know,
angry because I paid
cash-
$100 for it.
Just casually stroll through Amazon one day and grab the whole set for $50, all brand new and fresh.
It's amazing. It's great. So that's what we're getting for 2015. Before we leave BotCon, there are a couple of, I don't even know if I should mention it, but it's not to get too deep into it, but there's a little bit of controversy from BotCon. One was around the photo that was taken, which ended up sort of being a non-issue. Because of course the photos were released after the panel. But the thing that bugged me is Hasbro BotCon, they don't want the photos taken.
Right, that's the one thing they ask of you. Don't take pictures.
Don't take pictures.
Yeah.
Don't take pictures.
And
Because
you know, I mean,
because-
and more than like for me, it's bad enough that people there are taking pictures with their phones and tweeting them. It's worse to me that less. What's the word I want to use?
Scrupulous?
Scrutiny.
Yeah, that works. More unscrupulous outfits are then, you know, publishing them also contrary to the generally very nice request. Don't put these pictures out there. You know, these are not for general consumption.
Like I said, it's mostly a non-issue because the photos were released shortly thereafter. But as the point I raised on Twitter was, there's a reason that Hasbro has Hunter PR to release all of these photos and not some dude on Twitter.
Well, and the thing is, too, all the stuff that comes out through Hunter is stuff that's been approved for general consumption.
Yeah.
And there was pictures of the stuff that's not supposed to be seen that made it out, too.
Yeah. So don't do that, please, people.
No.
Don't do that.
No. I mean, if that happens enough, it's going to ruin it for everybody.
Yeah, it
I
really
literally,
is.
They will stop.
The enjoyment of everybody is not worth a couple of Twitter followers or a couple of YouTube subscribers for you.
I mean, and it's not like they, go into the the New York Hasbro event before Toy Fair, it's not like they're like, we're going to show you all this awesome stuff and you can't tell anyone. You can tweet during the whole event, you just can't take photos or video.
And
so
here's
it's not like they're saying you can't share the information. They just don't want pictures.
Yeah.
And here's the thing I don't understand. If they ask you not to take pictures, it's going to be in the case for the most part an hour after you leave. So everything you've seen, most of everything you've seen, will be in the case.
No, you're right. You're right. It's true.
Yeah, and anything that's not in the case that they can let people see, they let people see online through the press kit.
So, but the thing is, Don. So, and I totally fall into this trap. Like, John, get the photos, get stuff, tweets out as quick as you can, so that you can break news. And if you can get a photo out, 10 minutes before everybody else, that's going to get followers. That's going to get attention.
Yeah.
I totally get it. It's just there's the right way of doing things and the wrong way of doing things. So, so the other bit of controversy, and I wasn't there, I didn't hear it, but there's some controversy over a statement from Brian Savage, who is the owner of FunPub, in respect to some of the Asian people that he sources his toys from. I'm not going to make a statement one way or the other.
I didn't hear this.
It's all over.
Neither did I.
You're better off.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but
I don't think I want to know.
A pretty big stink has been raised, so it's within my circle of friends primarily. That's where it's originating, honestly. So it's probably bigger to me from a visibility standpoint than most people.
It's big enough. Just if you go to any major BotCon discussion, you'll find it.
Yeah,
it's a big enough thing. It just depends on the community you go with, how it's being generally perceived.
But the long and the short of it is, one thing that FunPub really can use is better PR.
Yeah.
One thing that FunPub could use is to have a professional public relations outfit actually being their face at the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I mean, that's been always like that, though. I mean, they've always, kind of insult the people who kind of help take out, the news sites and stuff like that. And they've always said that. They've always been like, oh, well, we don't really need you guys, but it'd be great if you could post this stuff for us. And they've always, so I mean, it's not surprising that they kind of, bite the hand that feeds them, essentially.
Well, and, I had my fun and games, too, in early 2012 when things were at what I would call the peak of bad PR. Anyone who was paying attention around that time with, all the credit card stuff and all that.
Anyone who was paying.
Thank you, Diecast. But anybody who remembers that far back knows what was going on at that time. And, there's been differences in how they relate publicly since then, but it's not the PR change they need to have really to work around the problems that exist.
Yeah.
So there is some controversy. If you want to research it, go out there and research it. Yeah.
If you want to research it, go find the middle of any given BotCon thread, and you'll probably land right in it.
Yeah. So just go and look.
Or step right in it.
I'm not saying either way. So I will say that I weighed in on Facebook, and I'm going to keep my opinion to itself on this matter.
Yeah, that's the safe bet.
Yeah. So So anything else? Third-party news, real quick. God, there's so much news. There's so much left in the show.
We can blow through this pretty quick.
So, I think last week we were going to talk about the not blur, but who cares? Mania King. Okay, so Mania King has been repainted, and I want it now.
Yeah.
I was tempted before, but now it's full blown want.
Yeah, it's interesting how much just reversing the coloring on the Canon.
Oh my God, it makes it look so much better.
It's more than that. It's just dark.
I think they put an LED in there too.
LED, yes. And the people who purchased this first are fuming.
It's gorgeous.
Because if you would have seen both colors, I mean, 99% of the people would have picked the second color with the LED for the
the
same
thing is-
price.
The thing is, though, looking at the new ones, I couldn't even tell that much of a difference aside from the canon with the original.
Oh no, it's definitely different.
Yeah, it's
I'm not saying
definitely-
it's not.
Does
It's just
the-
like nothing leapt out at me really solidly with it. Just looking at the new pictures independently.
I
Does
noticed the legs
does the head
weren't as
still
white.
just hang off the bottom of the cannon?
Yeah.
God, it's
Well, it's not,
pretty.
they didn't do any like engineering changes. They just changed
No.
the color.
No,
slapped
but
the white
I'll,
with it.
I'll be honest. That the head thing is what kept me from seriously considering this previously. Now, after seeing this, the head thing, don't care. That is too beautiful.
The thing I'm still hung up on is just like the curling arms.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, the
that's-
gorilla arms is
but
a lot of
That-
a lot
that's
of people
that's
don't like.
really what killed my interest in
Yeah.
it when there was no wrist swivel to account for that.
But now I will say this: if you're going for Galvatron in a kind of overhead cannon pose, that kind of
Yeah.
works for that arm right there. But with the way it transforms, I can see how it would be difficult putting individual swivels on each half to make a full swivel. It would be kind of difficult,
Yeah.
but it does look beautiful.
Want it?
On the other hand, though, they probably could have just as easily sculpted the hand so that it was oriented the other direction.
I mean, are we getting to the point with these third parties that we almost need to try and wait for their second release of the figure? I mean, KFC's doing it. You know, Unique
Well-
Toys is now doing it with Mania King. iGear does it all the time and gives us a screwed up color first and then releases a better color the second time.
The problem
Um,
is, if the first one doesn't sell well, what incentive do they have to do the second one? Because all their money was tied up in the initial engineering.
Well, maybe if they do it right the first time with the proper coloring the first time, but then they
Okay.
probably won't make as much money because they're going to get the people who definitely want that figure. They're going to buy it even if it's not 100% perfect, and then you're going to make it better and then get the rest of the buyers to buy it that waited on it the first time.
The thing is, though, I mean, your idea of, having a couple things flop because you're waiting for the second thing, if the company's margins are tight enough, having that could end up, killing them, basically, making it where they can't produce anymore and learn from those, first two. That's kind of a problem. It's not like where, it's a bigger major toy company where you can vote with your wallet. If you vote with your wallet with this, you may well never get anything else from them because they can't absorb those losses.
So
I'm
it's
not
just-
saying the practice is right, but your recourse is a little bit limited too.
Yeah, I don't think it's intentional to some degree. I think it's just them trying to get a product out they think will sell well, and then they're looking at other options of getting more use out of that mold, and they're finding other options. It may be deliberate. I don't know, but I don't think it is.
I understand the rage on this figure because if I
Yeah.
purchased the first one, I was actually almost ready to purchase the first one, and then like 2 days later, I found out about the recolor. I would have went, Galvatron crazy rage, just like G1 style, if I would have, went ahead and purchased the first one.
So
like if this new one had engineering modifications, swivel wrists or different oriented wrists to offset the elbow thing, or hide the head more, for the other example we've tossed out already, I would see it more. And if I had bought the original, I'd probably be very irritated because, hey, there's a version that fixes my major problem with this. But just for color change and an LED added, it wouldn't bother me that much.
so
the LED's
that's-
driving people nuts.
I literally pre-ordered this within 30 seconds of getting the email.
Me too.
I'm not surprised.
It was like I got it at like 6:50 something a.m. and I had it it was before 7 o'clock, and it was like boom, done. And Diecast emailed me or texted me 12 hours later. Did you see that? And I'm like, already bought it. Cannot wait. Okay, let's see here. What else third-party news do we want to talk about? So the crossover gen MP10 add-on. So
Interesting dual purpose thing they've got going on here.
yeah. So it's basically it's God Bomber. Is it the same God Bomber that we had before? Or is it a new God Bomber? I mean, it wouldn't work. Yeah, they
released that one.
I don't know that they released. I know that
I don't think they got around to releasing that.
We first talked about that thing like 3 years ago.
Yeah, but we first talked about the crossover gen trailer about that long ago too.
That's what I'm saying.
And that only came out last year.
Damn. So yeah,
these people are not speedy on their development to retail cycle.
So basically, it's a God Bomber upgrade kit for MP10
or Trailer Force.
Yeah. So,
like, you can use it with the Power Master stuff they did for classics, or you can just attach it directly to MP10, which I think is a cool concept. I'd actually like to see the same principle applied to just classics, Voyager, Optimus. Skip the Power Master trailer, go straight for Apex armor.
So what if you have Trailer Force? What do you have to rebuy? Anything?
No, I don't think you have to rebuy anything. This is just an add-on for that, and it works with your MP10 if you don't have Trailer Force.
That's pretty novel.
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
I mean, they've totally maximized their marketplace with that by not even requiring you to have what they have originally already made.
Which is so weird. But, bravo to them. That's great.
It makes a lot of sense when you get down to it, though, because if you make an add-on for your add-on, you're really narrowing down your potential audience with that. This gives you a whole different thing to do with a figure that tons of people have bought.
Yeah. So we got new photos of Quantron, and it's when's it being released?
August release date, around the same time as Utopia, and it's a gift. It's supposed to be in gift set packaging.
So $400.
$400 right now. There's a $30 early bird
price.
Yeah, let me just not pay my mortgage for a month, and here you go.
So who's buying it? Yeah,
I think that's your answer right there.
Actually, I've just put it on pre-order today.
This is what I need Hasbro to do better and cheaper, so I can get it.
And they might if you just wait a year.
Yeah. I want a Computron.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll skip Bruticus and give you Technobots instead.
So who's doing the other Computron? Fans Project? Warbitron. That's the one I think looks better.
Yeah, that's the one
to my eyes.
I don't care for that one myself. I like the Mach-E toys a bit better. As far as the designs, I may cancel my pre-order. It's just I love Technobots. I've been wanting this thing for quite a while.
So is this the size of Hercules?
It's a little bit taller than Giant and a little bit shorter than Hercules. So it sort of falls in between Giant and Hercules.
Okay.
Because this is the one that we saw with Utopia in one of the photos John took.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's
similar in size to Fans Project's M3, their Menasor.
Pretty close. It's a little beefier through the torso, just because Scattershot's more beefier. But I have to say, I really like the way that looks. I'll probably be kicking myself if I do get it, because I'm just saying it looks so good. Because if I don't get it now, it may go up in price. It may sell out. It may be harder to get later on. And that's the perils of buying third party. It's just
see, I don't know with Mach-E toys though, because their Green Giant, they've continually put a little bit of that figure out for a long time. He's been available for well over a year now.
Yeah, the only one that wasn't majorly available was the original Yellow, which they sold in 2-packs.
Right.
Yeah, and the Yellow was always supposed to be more limited in quantities than the Green. But also Hercules is still available in a lot of places. So
yeah,
one could be doing it because of the other to have a competing product on the shelves.
And still nobody has released it in an orange color.
I know. If the original if the original Giant had been in orange instead of yellow, I totally would have bought it. Because Orange Devastator is the Devastator I had when I was a kid.
I actually never. The only Orange Devastator I ever completed was the one that I got for $5 at Walgreens.
Well,
yeah.
still counts.
Yeah. Let's see here. So, finally, in third-party news, Diecast is here. You tell us, Diecast. You're the one that loves this.
Okay.
It's not Swindle.
As he goes to find what it is.
Oh, yeah, I had to click back on the notes. Yeah, this is the one I'm totally in love with. The face on this is so G1 cartoon. It's amazing.
It's more animated to me. It's like way more.
And see,
It's way more
that's
expressive
really
than
the
G1.
That's really the thing about Swindle. You know, you can sell Swindle independently of a Combaticon team because Swindle is the one who actually is a character among those characters.
Yeah.
You know, that's what Animated did.
Yeah.
And you can do that in any context, basically.
I mean,
just make a really nice Swindle character. Nobody's going to... Well, okay, some people will care that it doesn't combine with anything else, but for the most part, people will be happy to have a nice Swindle.
Yeah.
I never watched Animated, and I had recently just watched an episode of G1, like,
was
2
it bot?
days...
Was it bot?
No, it was
it
not
bot?
bot.
Oh.
It was not bot.
Watch bot. Watch bot.
Yeah, yeah.
It was one of the first couple episodes in season 3, and he had the exact same face that's on that toy in that episode that I watched. So this is, to me, is definitely G1 Swindle.
Yeah, no,
you need to watch Bot because he sells the other members of the team.
Yeah, I've seen Bot. I mean, but that's not in my head like this episode was like 2 days before I heard that, saw the picture of this.
You haven't watched it enough if it's not like currently and always perpetually alive in your head, you haven't watched Bot enough.
But yeah, I'm looking at this right now, Diecast, and that is an animated head.
So it's kind of, it's like a cross between. It's definitely the shape of the toy, the G1 toy, the peg head that would go in the the arm socket thing. The coloring and everything is more G1, but it's more expressive looking than a G1 face is. The eyes make it look more animated because the animated Swindle's eyes are so freaking huge. It's a cross between the two, but it's nice.
I mean, on the same token, you could say it's just a really toy-based head because the eyes on Swindle's toy were disproportionately large, like extremely disproportionately large for that peg head.
Kind of like a Precious Moments figure come to evil life.
Well, it sounds awesome when you say it that way.
I love it.
Yeah,
everybody loves the Swindle.
And that's another set I'm trying not to think about.
Well, you got a while on that one.
It's the most ambitious set anyone has done.
Well, it's
5 Voyager-sized figures.
Yeah.
I'm looking at TF Wiki just to see a good photo of the toy because that's just the first place my Google search went. The G2 version, of course, same head. The eyes are disproportionately large on the toy too.
And the thing is too, what's weird with the Fall of Cybertron ones, they actually made the head based on Alternator Swindle, which was supposed to be Trailbreaker. So
you opened your G2 Bruticus?
Of course, I still have the box.
Blasphemy!
It's not like I threw the box away.
It's a horrible toy. Why would you take it out of the box?
The box is the best part of it.
That toy is the reason I'm hoping that the Voyagers or the combiner, the center bot is a Voyager.
Voyager.
Yeah. Well, and going back to that topic because that's something I wanted to talk about too. I'm kind of hoping let everything use a uniform connection type so they can swap between teams, between positions, but make it where they're not all trying to be every limb.
Yes, so separate hands and feet would be fine with me.
Yes.
That's what hurt the Combaticons, is that every toy had to do 4 different things.
Mm-hmm.
And, well, Onslaught didn't have to do 4 things, but it had to account for all the other ones doing 4 things. It had to be the way it was just to make the structure work.
It did one thing really crappy, pretty much.
Being a toy?
Yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean, honestly, Onslaught's my absolute least favorite of those. followed by Vortex probably. But yeah, if they make it where, arms can be either arm and any arm for any team, but only an arm, and same with the legs, I think they will get stronger toys out of it.
Yeah, I think Scrambled City, we all wanted Scrambled City. Oh, it's so great. And then we got Scrambled City, and it's kind of like, this makes a really bad toy.
Scramble City. It's not egg, just Scramble City.
Yeah, that would be. I would love to have some scrambled eggs right now, though.
If they were like cooked in the bacon grease and yeah,
I'm kind of hungry.
Yeah, that would be good.
Okay, so let's go ahead and jump to our interview with Boss Fight Studios. After that, we will return.
Radio Free Cybertron has teamed up with Kokomo Toys and Collectibles in Kokomo, Indiana. If you're in the Kokomo area, visit our store for a huge selection of new and classic toys. Visit online at www.kokomotoys.com for our address and store hours. While you're there, check out our listing of pre-order items, as well as visit our eBay store. Visit us at www.kokomotoys.com. That's KOKOMOTOYS.com. We're also on Facebook.
Diecast and I are sitting down here with Andrew Franks and David Proctor. These guys are formerly working with Hasbro on lines such as Transformers, G.I. Joe, I think Marvel, etc. But they've since broken off and are doing a Kickstarter project on their new line, Vitruvian H.A.C.K.S, and it looks great. Guys, really quickly, tell us about Vitruvian H.A.C.K.S and Boss Fight Studios.
So we were all working for Hasbro for in various capacities on various brands, and we had certainly a great experience there. But we decided the time was right a couple of years ago to break off on our own and to sort of form our own thing. Boss Fight Studio is really geared towards doing both freelance work for other entities, but our own product as well. We had sort of saw quite the need to re-inject some of the creativity and originality back into the toy market, rather than seeing a lot of the same few licenses and the same few characters endlessly turns out over and over again. So yeah, hopefully we're hitting that with Vitruvian H.A.C.K.S, our first original product line.
Yeah, like Andrew said, with Vitruvian H.A.C.K.S, when we set out to create our own product, we wanted to hit on a number of key points, and one of them was we wanted to bring newness back to the market, because as we worked on so many of our beloved brands, at Hasbro, like I worked on G.I. Joe for a lot of years as well. So it's like your 10th Storm Shadow, and you kind of want to explore a little bit more of new characters, new aspects, and as much as we love those characters, it's also there's a reason why we love them. That's because at some point they were new, so, and then they were new, they were cool, and we were drawn to them then. So it's kind of like trying to bring that feeling back with our Vitruvian H.A.C.K.S line, and starting with the Greek mythology theme. We're trying to set it up in such a way that there really are like no limits with what we can do with the line. We've revealed some of our plans for Series 2 and Series 3 being fantasy based for Series 2, and more of like a space sci-fi, retro space sci-fi for Series 3. We've also got a lot of really cool stuff that we haven't revealed yet and plan in mind. Yeah, I mean, we created Vitruvian H.A.C.K.S with the idea of expanding the possibilities of what we can offer, as well as making stuff for collectors they're highly articulated, they're highly detailed, they're very customizable. All of us at Boss Fight, we we customize and like to participate in the hobby that way too. And so we want to make it a little easier for people to be able to do that with our figures as well. So maybe opening that up to people who aren't, we know there are a lot of different people out there with different skill levels, and some of them they'll customize it no matter what and do a fantastic job. Others, they don't feel as comfortable doing that, and they may have an easier time customizing with some Vitruvian H.A.C.K.S figures.
So years ago, Mattel would do like an expansion pack or something for the Masters of the Universe figures, and Hasbro also did that with G.I. Joe. Additional weapons, etc. There were, I think, a couple of those released. So with these figures being so customizable, do you see yourselves like releasing more like accessories, or are you just going to expand with new toys and have everything sort of be interoperable?
Yeah, mostly the latter. It's not going to be kind of the old razor and blade 12-inch G.I. Joe model where you have one body and then you keep buying parts for it. It's very much focused on getting lots of new figures out there with lots of variation. But what we've built a compatibility into them. The armor is removable and interchangeable. The heads and the arms should easily be interchangeable. And that's not to say that we aren't doing accessory packs. Those are stretch goals in the Kickstarter to get some weapons and armor in really cool different colors. And we really hope to expand upon that idea in the future. We want to be offering sort of the broadest range of cool stuff that allows the most play and creativity out there.
We do actually have the recently unlocked a few stretch goals ago was the base body stretch goal wave 1. So we are offering the figures in undecoed cast color, with various colors available. So you'll be able to buy, if you're trying to customize a certain character, a big concern with customizers is the joints and the paint rub. And if you get the joint, if you paint over the joint and then you articulate the arm, the paint rubs right off. So if you got a character and his elbow is black and his upper arm is blue, you can get a blue upper arm and a black lower arm and combine the two and then paint where you need to paint. And you don't have to worry about that black rubbing off that joint. So that's part of the beauty of those base bodies.
So are these going to be are they going to be compatible with other lines? Are there any other lines out there that where the accessories would work well with these?
They're very much going to look great displayed with your Joes, your Star Wars, and there's definitely a little bit of sharing back and forth that can happen with the Marauder Task Force figures that we also developed for Marauder Inc. But the particular build of the Vitruvian H.A.C.K.S is kind of we look on it as something of a proprietary thing, and it's very much contained within itself. That said, there's going to be so many options for customizing, and maybe you want your Spartan to have a huge machine gun, and that's going to be awesome. That
would be awesome. So I've looked through the photos. I haven't read through everything yet. So you guys are saying these are 3 3/4 inch.
Yeah, they're modern 3 3/4 inch, which is actually 4 inch. If you look at your,
oh my gosh,
if you look at your,
they look like they're 6 inches. Yeah. Oh my God, I'm serious. They look, with the amount of detail in here, I thought they were like 6-inch figures. They look amazing. That's amazing work, guys.
Thank you. It's funny that you said that. You asked about the cross compatibility with other lines, and where initially we were thinking that would be so great to do, but the more we tried to look at that, the more we found it limited the improvements we could make. So it's like we decided to just go and make it our own, make it so cross-compatible beyond all the Vitruvian H.A.C.K.S, and that way we're able to improve on the design and the function of the articulation and all that, and as well as make it for ease of customizability too, of course. But yeah, I mean, for mid-level to experienced customizers, I'd say you could switch parts with other brands with minimal, effort, I would say. Not too much effort, a little bit of gap filling here or something like that. And probably be able to get your other parts to fit with the Vitruvian H.A.C.K.S figures.
So, I own a 3D printer. No chance of like any sort of like standard connector, like 3D model or something being released, so that I could like make my own like really awesome robotic arm to go on Medusa or anything like that. I take it.
Well, I think that's a lot of companies are talking about doing stuff like that. It's definitely. I'm not sure what model 3D printer do you have at home.
I have the Solid Doodle 2.
Okay. Right. It's now since we're focusing more on a 4-inch scale, 4-inch, 3 3/4 inch scale figure. It's really tough for home 3D printers to get that type of detail on the small size.
That's true.
So it's who knows what's possible? Like our motto is like, there are no limits. So maybe someday, but for right now, we like to stick with the manufactured figures. We feel like that's the best bet to get the quality that we want to deliver to our customers and collectors.
Well, this is great. We'll get back to more of this in just a second. Diecast. So, what questions do we have around Transformers?
Oh, around Transformers. Oh, God. When's the last time you worked with Transformers?
And what was your last project?
Yeah.
Can you speak to that?
We did the FSS and Botcon heads for the Transformers Collectors Club. So everything that was either a new tooling on a Botcon exclusive or was revealed at the recent Botcon, those were all our sculpts. And before that, we did a number of other items for the club. We've done bits and pieces of stuff for Hasbro. As Boss Fight, we did we did some decos on the new Potato Head Transformers line.
I love those.
They're pretty cute. But before that, in my last year at Hasbro, I did the designs and came up with the concept for the Wreckers combiner set. That was the new heads,
Bruticus,
new heads on the Combaticons. So that was kind of my baby.
Did you come up with did you decide to use Ruination for the combiner mode?
Ruination wasn't the name. That was something they came up later. I think it's a great one. I was originally I can't remember what the name I had originally put on the concept sheets was. It was something more focused on Zeron being the combiner mode. Using that, I thought having Zeron as the head of the combined robot was a nice Easter egg. So in this, I mean, you're a fan as well. Absolutely.
I mean, or did you? So how long have you actually been a fan of Transformers?
Well, I was definitely a big fan as a kid. I think I got into collecting very seriously in 1993 when G2 came out, and I've sort of been a big Transformers convert ever since. I've got a huge soft spot in my heart for G2. There's something about that, the neon colors and the the bit of silliness around it that really appeals to me. I did a when I was doing exclusives in my last year at Hasbro, I did a set. It was originally going to go to Walmart. It was like a special ultimate value pack that had a Jazz and Optimus Prime in those G2 colors, and that was really exciting.
You're my hero.
Thank you.
Nice.
Yeah, I love G2. I love the later Euro G1 stuff. I love all that stuff. Love it a lot. David, I take it you're more of a G.I. Joe guy.
I'm a sculptor and at Hasbro. I used to be a sculptor and sculpt manager for about 7 years, I think, before coming to Boss Fight. Before that, I was a freelance sculptor. So yeah, Hasbro doesn't do in Pawtucket, Rhode Island. They don't do a ton of Transformers sculpting.
Yeah.
So I actually didn't, while I was at Hasbro, I didn't get a huge amount of opportunity to work on Transformers. I did get to work on some of those little robot heroes figures. I did the Ultra Magnus, the little like 2-inch PVC cute style versions. I did the Ultra Magnus and the Optimus Prime with where he's pulling the Matrix apart.
Mm-hmm.
I did also work on, like you say, I did work on almost all the other brands pretty extensively, though. Marvel, Star Wars, and definitely G.I. Joe. From I was sculpt manager of the line from Pursuit of Cobra onwards, including all the stuff from the concept case that they showed in the previous Joe Cons. The new 50th was somebody else, but they're using a lot of the canceled figures that I had worked on for that, which is cool. I hope they use them all, actually. Yeah, so my first actual Transformer head sculpts, like for Transformers that actually transform, were done for the FSS and the Collectors Club. So.
And I know you guys worked on the most recent, the 3.0 that was just unveiled, right? Like Croc, I saw on the So, was it all the figures or just that one, just like Croc specifically?
No, it was. I think all the ones that we did the sculpts for were. It started with Chrome Dome, Rewind, Rampage, Thrustinator, and then we did the DevCon, the Cannonball, the Scorponok, and the Croc and Karzap.
So knowing with Scorponok, that was a little different because, well, and I guess it really wasn't that different since you started with a base piece. I mean, that started with the Fort Max head. I mean, with Spike head from.
Yeah. Scorponok was, you could say, an interesting challenge. Figuring out a way to retrofit the existing Headmaster figure to the existing Scorponok body took quite a bit of doing. We made, and I think Pete made a reference to how much work went into it on the panel, but we made a number of passes on both the design end and the sculpting end to sort of get that fit and that look right. It was a tough project. The other one that was pretty difficult was the Rampage, right, Dave?
Oh yeah. When you're working with existing parts and new heads or new pieces that have to interact with those, it can be very tricky actually at times because we're doing our sculpting digitally these days, and without having there he is. I actually haven't seen that yet. Cool.
It's a very nice looking figure.
Yeah. Wow. Very cool. I have to get one of those. You don't actually have while working on these, we don't have digital model of the previous figure. So I can't take the Megatron body and then use it in my program to double check sizes and thicknesses and everything. So that one, the Rampage in particular, was really a challenge because of all his horns and his design. So he's got these horns coming off in every angle, and plus there's this oval toilet-shaped thing that slides down over his neck for the transformation. And to get those horns to pass through there, as well as try to get all the he also had a lot of fine detail for as far as the Transformer heads are concerned. So he's got all this deep cuts and the deep slashes in his mouth, and all the little claws that wrap around his face. So it's when you do that type of detail, it's hard enough when it's a bigger piece, but when you're going smaller and smaller with it to get it to fit the existing body size and deal with the limitations, it's really tricky. I think I haven't seen the final one up close, but I think some modifications were made to it, to the horns especially. I know the original sculpt had very crisp, sharp horns on it. I'm not sure what they changed.
Yeah. I have one, and I've been able to compare, and I think it's China engineering getting a little overzealous with worrying about the sharp points. That can always be an issue. But yeah, they were unfortunately blunted quite a bit.
Yeah. Actually, since we're doing a video here, it kind of gives me a chance to show you guys.
There you go.
Oh yeah. Oh wow. Yeah, that definitely is different.
Yeah. So does that bother you guys when, you spend a lot of time designing something and then the final product doesn't come out the way you really intended it to come out?
Oh, it sometimes it does. But I've been doing this for, getting on 12 years total now, and it's definitely not a new thing. It's something that we always deal with. You just try to, each time you do it, you adapt, try to improve, see something that maybe didn't work the last time as well as you wanted, try to figure out why that happened, and just try to correct it for the next one. It's always a process of that. As long as I've been doing this, there's never been a time where it's like, oh yeah, I got this. There's nothing to be learned, from the last time. It's always a process of making the next one better than the last one. We continue that with our boss fight products, as well as with all the work we do with clients, such as Fun Pub on these transformer heads, and so it's sometimes it can be discouraging. I'd say those times are typically when you either had to overcome a lot of adversity to figure something out, and then it was changed in spite or of what you had done, or when you know that something has worked in the past and you have examples of it succeeding, and then you get the piece back and it's been changed, and that's I think the most frustrating thing is I got that on G.I. Joe. I got that a lot on hand grips. If you're a G.I. Joe fan, you might. One big complaint that people have is like, well, the hand grip isn't always as consistent as we want. Well, it's like, in the sculpts, we try to make them functional every single time. You build your hand grip, you add the right amount of overlap of the fingers and such, and then next thing you know, you get your part back, and the thumb's been stretched, the fingers have been opened, maybe you filled in a little bit, and that makes it easier to mold, but it also makes it so the figure can't hold the weapon so well. And then there'll be other times you get it back exactly how you sent it, the character holds the weapon great. So I think those are the times that were most frustrating for me, just because it's like, well, I know we did this before. How come? Why are we not able to do it this time?
So with your own stuff, with the figures that you're producing for Vitruvian H.A.C.K.S, is that going to be a concern, or is it going to be exactly as you spec it out?
So our partners in China, people that we've worked with some of these people for years, and they have the same collector mindset that we have. So it's definitely not going to be as much of an issue there, because we'll have much more say over that step of the process than we used to have. It'll be more focused on quality and quality results rather than speed of getting the stuff out the door. So so if we're focused on providing the highest level of quality, detail, function, and all that in our product. So if something's not working out right, we won't just sit there and say, oh well, on to the next one. We'll fix it. We'll make sure it works right before we bring it to market. Here's the Medusa figure. She has a articulated snake tail, which is something we really wanted to do with this line. It has all these different ball joint sections inside that will allow you to position the figure, curl the tail up. You can disassemble the tail as well. There's all these different poses you can get. The top section here, it's going to be a soft PVC section. It does have skeletal joints inside, so you can. Right now, this piece is a little harder than it will be, but you'll be able to bend her at that section too, which would be about where the knees would be on a person. So I mean, you can actually coil her up, get her to stand. The photographs I've taken of these blue models have been taken without assistance, so they actually can stand without any assistance as well. If you check us out on Facebook or the Kickstarter, I'm sure you'll see some of those images that I'm talking about. We also got. I'll show you the male figure here, who is to demonstrate just the general posability of our figures. So this is the base body male. It's used for the Spartan figure as well as all the other male figures in the first series. There are a variety of different heads that we've made for the different characters, as well as different armor pieces. But you get double knee. You've got a nice functioning hip there. Insert ball joint ankle. You have the waist swivel. That waist swivel is actually meant for to help with customizability. If you've ever tried to customize a G.I. Joe figure and all you want to do is switch the legs and nothing else, you switch the legs, but then you got to paint the pelvis piece there. You got to paint the rest of the pants to match. So by having that section there, you can actually take off the whole lower body from one of our figures and take another lower body on and stick it on there. So you don't have to paint. If that was all you want to do, you don't have to paint anything on it. You don't want to. So he's also got a ball jointed torso. He's got a double ball neck, so he gets a really great neck positioning. A lot of cool natural poses with the neck.
Yeah, that's really nice. I've never seen anything like that on a.
You got I've been doing articulated figures at the scale for a long time. It's something of a specialty, so I've really tried to up the bar with what we can do with our figure.
Its shoulder's not ratcheted.
Oh, that's just
I
the
thought I heard a
friction
ratcheting
of this
sound.
urethane piece. It actually, right now, the shoulder is just a smooth peg. Sorry, I'm holding it up. So, but in production, there will be nubs on there to allow for moderate force to be able to pull the piece apart. We don't want it to be able to be too easy to take apart so that you're moving around, his arm falls off. But at the same time, we don't. We're trying to. Our goal is to make it so that you can give it a good pull and get the piece to come out, and then switch with another figure, and they'll be able to be detached at pretty much all the joints. The main place where it won't be able to detach is the knee, because of the double knee and the pins. That could be disassembled the traditional way. Use a little hot water or hair dryer and remove the pins that way, and then switch if you want to. We do have a cool hip joint disassembly feature as well, which you're able to kind of pull the figure's leg off like this, and then pop the new leg on. And the way that we've designed this is to include a PVC leg which helps you get a lot of nice detail, as well as being able to disassemble the figure without need of a screw or anything like that. So that's a cool little innovation that we've included, that we've developed specifically for this line, Vitruvian H.A.C.K.S. You can also have, I mentioned the hand grips before. We're trying to get really tight hand grips here that sort of in a way that I've not successfully gotten from my previous works at Hasbro. So we're trying to get up the ante here. We're getting some, you can pose your figure out in a variety of different poses. We got the hard copies are getting a little loose because I've been posing them and photographing them so much. But
You've been playing with them, admit it.
oh, you got me. So you can get some really cool poses with these guys. And it's actually worth noting that each figure in the Vitruvian H.A.C.K.S line, including the base bodies and all the characters, they feature two sets of hands rather, so 4 hands. They have different ranges of motion. So the first one is front to back. So that'll allow you to point the sword, angle the sword backward like that. The other one, let me put his sword in there. The other one is side to side, which will allow you to rotate the sword outward and inward. So, so depending on what you want to do, you want to pose this guy out, with one sword pointing forward in a sort of aggressive battle stance type thing, and one sword outward. You can get some cool poses like that.
Wow.
These are so awesome. So are these going to hit retail as well?
So
I failed to ask that before.
The plan is that that once we get through the Kickstarter, all the Kickstarter backers are going to, once the figures are produced, they're going to get theirs first. But then we are going to offer them at a couple of different retail avenues. Primarily will be our own web store, which we're still in the process of setting up. And then we're going to work with some select specialty retailers to also carry them. And some of those guys may have some special exclusives. We're still working things out. So, but yeah, basically, if you're used to buying collectible toys on the internet, there's going to be plenty of places to buy them. We are specifically for now avoiding the mass retailers. Because these are very much adult collectibles. They're not going to be safety tested for children. They're not going to be, they're not going to have their sharp points rounded off or anything. So yeah, we definitely wanted to avoid that and make sure that we have the function and the aesthetic that collectors have come to expect.
I'm actually assembling here this Spartan warrior so that I can show you him. Using the same base body I was just showing you before. You add in all the weapons, and he actually has a different head as well. And there he's got his helmet, and still got the swords there. The skirt and everything will be flexible, more flexible than this piece here. It's just the material we had for the hard copy. But yeah, so there'll be... we actually have several different armor pieces available. I think we've got total of 4 helmets, 3 different torso armors, 2 different types of shin guard armors, scabbards, the big Spartan shield. There are 4 swords for the Spartan. The spear's bent, but it won't be bent in production. We got different swords. Like I say, you got the Kopis sword, you got the long sword, the shorter sword the Spartans were famous for. The Medusa comes with a really cool bone whip, little soft material, so it'll be flexible.
Oh, neat.
There are other characters. There's the Gorgons. There's the Gorgon sisters. There's the Gorgon army, it's essentially like I don't have the piece here with me, but it's like the Medusa character with the snake tail, with different heads and really cool skull helmet, and all the patterns that the Gorgons are based on are actual snake patterns. So in Wave 1 we have the coral snake, and that's based on a coral snake. Wave 2 is based on a green garden snake. Then you got the black racer, which was just unlocked recently. And later on we get into stuff like, Andrew, what about that milk snake?
Oh yeah, the fluorescent orange albino milk snake. Two different colors of fluorescent orange. That one's my favorite.
That sounds great. So, Spartans fought naked. You're not doing a version like that, are you?
You can actually take all the armor off if you want. So if you wanted your Spartan, he's not going to be naked. He's going to have little underwear on there. But
if that's the way you want to play, that's cool with us.
Yeah, so you can actually just pull your armor off the leg like that.
So it looks like there's 2 weeks left of the Kickstarter.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's over. It's more than hit its goal. You're into the stretch goals. It's at $159,810. That's great. I'm pretty excited about this. I'm gonna, as soon as we're done here, I'm gonna go back it because I really want these figures pretty bad. They are gorgeous. So, how do people find this? How do they go to Kickstarter and search for Boss Fight Studios, or how do you prefer?
Yep, absolutely. They can just go to Kickstarter and search for Boss Fight Studio. They can also look for us on Facebook or at bossfightstudio.com. And all of those places should be easy enough to work through. And know that everyone out there, when you're pledging, you are not going to fill up our money bin so we can go diving around in it like Uncle Scrooge. Every dollar of this Kickstarter is going into the production costs of this assortment of figures.
Yeah, everything. We actually have a number of we have a lot of stretch goals. We built those in hoping that we can offer the most variety with our line. And each time, you said we're over our goal. But as we get more and more money, we unlock. It allows us to offer more and more products. And that, just like Andrew said, the money goes right into the project. It's so that we'll be able to offer. Today actually we had a special type of stretch goal hit where it was the 700 backers. We offered a. We actually have been trying to be very fan friendly as well with our company in general. Since launching the Kickstarter, we've been hearing a lot of requests, a lot of people wanting an Amazon character because we've got Spartans, Gorgons, Medusas, but we didn't have like a female Spartan or a female human warrior of some kind. So we saw it pop up a lot of requests for the Amazon. So we decided, hey, we can put this together. We'll offer it as an incentive to help us get to 700 backers, and we just hit that this morning. So the Amazonian figure is unlocked. So it's that's one type of stretch goal there. The other ones are typically dollar amount increments. We are actually where are we here? We're at 159, 810 right now, which is only just a little over 5,000 away from our next stretch goal, which is 2 additional characters. The younger sister of Medusa, Urael, she's really cool, as well as the Myrmidon warrior, who's been an exciting figure. A lot of people have been wanting to add. We have all kinds of stretch goals in there, and some of our ultimate stretch goals being whole new body for a skeleton figure. That's
awesome.
We really want to hit that one. I think a lot of fans want to hit that one too. So if you guys are anybody out there who's interested in action figures in general, as well as highly articulated, customizable figures and highly detailed, and Greek mythology or fantasy type figures, check it out. Please help us back the project. The more people we can get on, the closer we can get to unlocking that skeleton.
Well, I just backed it. While you were talking.
Awesome.
So obviously you want people to pledge as much as they want to or can. But if you had to recommend like a tier to back this at, like if you were a fan and you weren't producing this, as far as the incentives go, which one would you want?
You mean like this incentives offered?
Yeah.
For me, see, I am a pretty big action figure collector. So I love anything that's cool and articulated and fits into like the 4-inch, 3 3/4 inch, or 6-inch scale type thing, or even with Transformers, I try to do the bigger ones like the Masterpiece and such. But so for me, it's like if I was not a part of this Kickstarter, I would go for the all-in level, which is the $500 pledge, and that gets you one of everything, which is keeps it simple there. But the really cool thing about the all-in pledge is that it's a flat rate, so anything that is unlocked is added to that for no additional. So
and the value of it gets better and better as we go on. And you don't, I mean, the thing about the all-in pledge is don't wait until later, because if you contribute now, it just helps it to get to that better value that much sooner.
Yeah. So we're actually at the tipping point now where with the Amazon and right around the corner from the Urael and Myrmidon stretch goal, where the all-in is starting to get to be a really good value. And so essentially every figure onward is free for those backers. So if we unlock everything, all the stretch goals, it ends up being about $13 a figure or something like that.
That's not bad at all. That's great.
A lot of figures.
Now, that's a lot of figures. I might have to change my backing. I went for the 115 tier, but let me talk to my wife about that one. Or I may just not talk with her. Yeah, she's not here.
Usually that's what I do. I'll just assume she's going to back me up on that.
Yeah, got to back your husband's play. So.
that always happens, right?
Yeah, this is awesome, guys. Thank you so much. Anything else that you want to tell the fans before we skedaddle?
Oh, geez. I mean, like Dave said, the motto we have at Boss Fight Studio is "There are no limits," and that applies to our original, our first product line, Vitruvian H.A.C.K.S, because every assortment is going to be something completely different in terms of theming, but we want to reach beyond that as well. So if you're a Transformers fan, we want to eventually, work in that neighborhood. We want to do something that's out there, and we want to do lots of different products that are going to. I think who coined this phrase? Someone we were talking with, but we want to touch all your niches, and we have big plans, and if the support is there, we want to be able to deliver you, every different kind of collectible action figure you could want in really high quality. So yeah, we're a small startup business. Please, we need every dollar, every retweet helps. So we'll take anything you got.
So you're on Twitter at boss-fight-studio. What's your Twitter account?
Hang on. I'm not the one who actually handles the Twitter.
Yeah. Actually, Eric and Trina usually handle the Twitter, and neither.
Yeah, it's just at Boss Fight Studio.
Okay, cool. Yep. Oh yeah, I see it right here. Excellent. So I'll follow. I've already liked it on Facebook. So this is great, guys. I'll make sure that everybody knows how to find this. And thank you so much for speaking with us. I really enjoyed this.
Thank you very much for having us on.
You can hear our show on Stitcher Smart Radio. Stitcher allows you to listen to your favorite shows directly from your iPhone, Android phone, BlackBerry, or Palm phones. On demand and on the go. Don't have Stitcher? Download it for free today at Stitcher.com or in the app stores. Stitcher Smart Radio, the smarter way to listen to radio.
Okay, so people listening to the podcast version or watching the video, we are going to jump to our reviews of Transformers 4 Age of Extinction. If you don't want to be spoiled, stop now. Nothing else after that. Nothing worth watching. I might have... What is that? Oh, yeah, your ticket. Can somebody steal that?
What's that?
Nah,
I don't think it works that way.
I don't know.
It's got a
and I
little
don't-
scanner on
it's
it.
not
I
like-
mean, I guess they
It's
could.
not like
I don't think the video's high enough resolution for that anyway.
No, it's not.
Besides,
Yeah.
it's not JD's credit card number, so it won't work.
Yeah.
I still have that picture.
Yeah.
If it was a phone number, I would tweet it, kind of like Don.
So,
867-5309.
yeah, that's awesome.
You're listening to Radio Free Cybertron. Give me your face.
So, Transformers 4 Age of Extinction. This is the Radio Free Cybertron review. So, spoilers are ahead. Transformers 4 Age of Extinction. So first, let me say, this is the fourth Michael Bay Transformers movie. If you like the first three, you're probably going to like this one. If you didn't like the first three movies, you're not going to like it. So I want to start off with my favorite quote from the film. I think it's perfectly illustrative of the movie. "Tank's empty, bro. Hound." So, at a cursory glance, Age of Extinction is, by Transformers movie standards, a competent outing on par with at least the last movie. And because of that, head and shoulders above Revenge of the Fallen. But upon further investigation, its shiny digital exterior cracks, and we're left with what's really the worst Transformers film yet underneath. So the last film, Dark of the Moon, culminated with an apocalyptic battle in which Chicago is destroyed. The battle is pretty much the high point of the Transformers film series thus far, from both a storytelling and technical standpoint. It was huge in scope, it was visually thrilling, and it was well executed. That serves as a lead-in to Age of Extinction, which pits the Transformers versus a Black Ops subdivision of the CIA, with humanity's fate in the balance. The film focuses on a new set of humans and their amplified domestic woes. Cade Yeager is a down-and-out widower/inventor/nerdy but still fit former high school jock turned teen parent. Yeager's wife died at some undefined point in the past, conveniently leaving him unattached, and primed for a future romantic subplot. Potentially, we'll see. He and his hot teenage daughter Tessa own Yeager Robotics, which is headquartered in a barn situated on the Yeager property. Tessa's secret boyfriend, Shane, is a rally car driver. Yeah, so pay attention because the movie is going to focus on these guys a lot. After Chicago, humanity decides that the Transformers are a threat and must be eliminated. Well, actually, humanity decides that the Decepticons are a threat and must be eliminated. Humanity seems to be pretty cool with the Autobots still. But Harold Attinger isn't. Attinger, played by Kelsey Grammer, is the head of the super-secret CIA Black Ops subdivision, which is in cahoots with bounty hunter Lockdown. Lockdown's looking for Optimus to add to his collection and take back to the mysterious creators of the Transformers. And those creators, they actually killed all of the dinosaurs 65 million years ago because they could. Make sense? So that's pretty much the setup for the remainder of the movie. The movie itself meanders for nearly 3 hours, and I don't understand why it goes on that long. It just does. In those 3 hours, you see a lot of American flags, tons of lens flare, a few lifeless action sequences, forced interaction between the human cast members, and other things which were surprisingly done better in the first 3 movies. There are things I liked about the movie. The Autobots are literally more colorful and more distinctive than previous iterations. The film's visuals are bright and razor sharp. While virtually indistinct from other Decepticons, Lockdown is fairly well executed. And while probably too late, we were given a lot of framework to work from on potential future sequels. Overall, though, there was just too much going against the movie. There was no wow factor. There was no tentpole scene that made the movie worth the cost of admission. There was nothing that we haven't seen already. The acting was terrible even by Transformers movie standards. Galvatron was virtually a non-entity. The promising concept of human-designed Transformers seemed virtually unrealized. Overall, the movie was just going through the motions. It was unimaginative, and it was lifeless. Worst of all, the Dinobots, who were like the best part of the trailer, they were neutered by their very introduction. Having to prove himself to the Dinobots, Optimus Prime faces Grimlock in battle, and Optimus Prime defeats Grimlock handily. Wasn't even close. Why do we need the Dinobots again? One could argue that Revenge of the Fallen is the worst Transformers film. Technically, Revenge of the Fallen is a nightmare. It's a dust devil of a film. It churns in its own filth for a long time, but ultimately leaves very little behind. The one area in which Revenge of the Fallen succeeds, however, is its energy. As a director, Bay paints destruction with verve and enthusiasm in the 2009 sequel. This movie, which he didn't even originally intend to direct, just seems like a paycheck. I wasn't incredibly pleased with Transformers 4: Age of Extinction. It's my least favorite of the Transformers films thus far. While I entirely understand why Michael Bay directs these movies, he makes money. He just doesn't make good movies. But that really doesn't matter. So, like I said before, if you like the first three, you'll like this one. If you didn't, you won't. Simple as that.
You're listening to Radio Free Cybertron, the original geek podcast.
Peter, it was great having you on.
I think we lost his audio again.
Yeah. His audio was great for a second there.
Oh,
Peter, where'd you go?
So before we go, what's new in your life? What's going on? Anything important?
No, not really.
Since we talked to you 2 years ago.
Get married yet? You doing
yeah, I did.
Congratulations.
How's that going? How's that working out?
It's it's going. It's no.
He's got to be careful what he says because she's right there.
Yeah.
I feel your pain.
So where are you? Are you still living in the same general area, or you're not like across the world? Are you?
No, I'm still living in exactly the same place as I was 2 years ago.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So
Does it look
Okay, so
the
we
same?
have a different camera angle then.
no, I'm actually in a different room. One of the two rooms that I have.
Oh, okay.
I'm in a different room. Yeah. Yeah, things with a woman's touch, things have changed. Everything has changed for the better. But yeah, everything's good. It's more or less about the same. That's pretty.
Yeah, other than Facebook, like seeing what's going on, I haven't really spoken with you much since JD passed away.
Yeah, and I actually I had sent you an email personally, but I got to finish that tribute episode, and it was. I know we had the sneak preview, but I mean it was great. I got got a little sad at certain parts, but I mean he definitely made me cackle like I was like a crazy. Yeah. It was like such a quiet office, and I was just laughing my ass off.
I've honestly not just like because I was editing the thing. I've honestly listened to it 3 times at this point.
And it was really hard because I was laughing, and a coworker said, "What's so funny?" And I was trying to explain it to her, and the one about him just trying to he wanted to beat up the person, and he wanted
Chris Triplet.
He wanted to be a Chris, and he wanted him to drive through Oklahoma City, and he's like to pay the toll.
Oh no, that was Fort Max. That was Fort Max.
Oh, he's like, if I pay the toll, you pay the toll.
Yeah, he talked about beating up a lot of people in this. It was kind of great.
Yeah, it was. I kept losing track because he kept trying to kill him.
He was so pissed off at Chris Triplet for getting that Gaijin rifle right next to nothing.
Yeah, it was like $30
I mean,
or
I was
something.
just laughing. It wasn't until I was trying to explain the story, and I was dying, and I was explaining it to him. They just gave me this face. They're just like, "Well, how is that funny?"
You had to be there.
Had to be.
Yeah, and so that's just that in a
You had to
nutshell.
know JT. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah, pretty much. That's like in a nutshell is JD and his unique sense of humor that will definitely be missed. So
Yeah, I had time to listen to about half of the tribute episode before we started tonight, and I was cracking up through most of it because there's so many moments, and JD just had that natural way about him.
Yeah, he was awesome.
Yeah,
I would have played something from Fanboy Versus, but I would have had to have listened to Fanboy Versus too. Do that.
No one wanted to put you through that.
No, I'm kidding. JD's not around here to suffer that joke anymore, unfortunately. So it just seems like I'm cruel. There's
I thought we were talking about Superhero Time. I'm sorry, I got mine too
Fanboy
confused.
No. I listened to the one episode of Superhero Time that was identified that having the source material that I wanted. So, actually, no, I plucked actually from 2 because I used something. You haven't listened to the whole thing yet, so you'll see at the end. So,
Okay.
Let's see here. What else? Something JD related that I wanted to mention. Oh yeah, so there's certain things in there that I felt bad about using because it was like some sort of like back and forth, like about weight or like diet and stuff like that. I thought might be in poor taste, but then I thought JD would do the same for me. So don't want to censor it. It's all out there. It's all.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing to remember too with this being for JD. You have to think about it in the spirit he would receive it.
Yes.
And, nothing like all the stuff we've done to commemorate him and remember him, none of it has been in a way that he would ever have objected to.
Yeah, it's kind of like my friend Jason, his father just passed away recently. And the funeral was for his wife. I get it. She's the one she's the survivor. It's for her. But darn it, I want to be remembered the way I want to be remembered. I don't want somebody to have some sort of play music I wouldn't want to listen to or do anything. I want to have my own freaking I want to have like some sort of animatronic I want to be like some sort of big meat puppet and like have a pre-recorded like monologue and like have my mouth moving and reciting it. That's how I want to go. That's how I want to be remembered.
Oh, that's not creepy at all, Brian.
I don't care. It's for me.
That's pretty damn awesome. I mean,
it's what I want. Damn it, it's what I want.
But you're not even going to be able to know if you got that.
I will have to assume.
It doesn't matter though, because he will die secure in the knowledge that this is going to happen in the next couple of days.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. Okay. So, guys, thanks for being on. We'll talk about the movie next week if you are so inclined. Everybody, anyone not seeing it? Melvar's not seeing it.
I plan on going Friday to an early matinee. Tomorrow I'm going to go see How to Train Your Dragon 2.
So I'll be honest. So I wasn't able to get early tickets to Transformers, but you know what I was able to get early tickets to? The Purge. I don't even think I'm going to go to that one. Yeah.
You couldn't get early tickets to Transformers?
No, did you?
Oh, I mean, you couldn't get the 9 o'clock showing tomorrow night?
No, early screening.
Oh, yeah, they never...
Yeah,
Paramount's like, yeah, we're going to email you.
It's kind of rough.
I am not even getting close to my town's only theater for the 9 o'clock show. We have one theater in town now.
I got an email tonight for The Purge. I only get emails on crappy movies. Like, nothing I actually want to see.
I live in a metropolitan area where we have movie theaters that have pre-screenings all the time. So I should be in an area where they have a pre-screening for Transformers. It shouldn't have been a big deal for Paramount to say, yeah, here, go, see the movie, enjoy, talk about it, tell people you liked it, tell people it was the best thing on earth.
Kim got to see a pre-screening last week or the week before of How to Train Your Dragon 2.
That's awesome.
So like stuff like that happens. You can get it. But yeah, like for Transformers, for some reason, I couldn't get it.
And have you noticed that there's no... Now, maybe it might be on the DVDs.
Cross-license? Oh.
No. On the DVDs, there may be movie ticket money. But there's on the How to Train Your Dragon stuff, on some of the toys, you buy some of the toys, you get money, movie money to go see the
Don, movie. I have no idea what you're talking about.
No, I know what he's talking about, because like with some video games too, will come with like vouchers or
I've seen that.
Basically coupons.
Toys R Us is doing that for Age of Extinction.
Okay,
and GameStop was too. Like if you bought Rise of the Dark Spark on release day, you would get vouchers for like up to 2 tickets.
I don't remember them. They never used to do that. They never did it for any of these movies before.
Well, I heard they're doing it for this one.
I remember they did those. I remember they did the 3D glasses thing. That was it.
Well, maybe this is probably more incentive to buy the game than it is, get people into the movie. Because I don't think they have a problem getting people into the movie. The game that they don't send review copies out for until release day That might be a harder sell.
Yeah.
It's pretty much just like, it's just like when you don't pre-screen movies, it's just not going to do.
And everything I've heard on Twitter from the people who bought the game has been not great.
Yeah, I mean, it's not really.
You guys will find out here in a minute. That's
That's
okay.
right.
Well, let's consider that a preview then.
Okay. So thanks, guys. We'll see you later. Have a good one.
See ya.
All right, everybody, take care.
This has been Radio Free Cybertron. Visit us at tfradio.net for show notes and to subscribe to the podcast. Follow us on Twitter at tfradio for news and updates. Watch our live stream at tfradio.net/live. Join our Facebook fan page at facebook.com/tfradio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, TF Radio Network. Have a question or comment? Leave it on our Facebook fan page or mail it to contact@tfradio.net. This podcast is released under a Creative Commons license. Any part of this podcast can and should be redistributed, but please, proper attribution is required if you know what's good for you.
Transformers. It's better than crack.